And we're on.
Hello, welcome to find myself pretty good hole. Welcome to the Ramble Express podcast. We're finally doing this on time for once.
Yes, instead of 1 day late because Doctor Who is finished.
We're gonna still need to watch I still need to watch all of season 8 of Doctor Who. I watched Listen and then just kind of fell off. We're gonna have Jack join the podcast at some point, but he's on his way home now apparently. Okay, so first topic is Amiibos. What do you guys generally think about the Amiibos?
I don't know if I'll use them incredibly often, but I think they look cool. They'll be nice to own at the very least.
What about you, Joey?
I think that Amiibos are Nintendo's answer to Skylanders.
Yeah.
In a way.
But you don't have to spend $60 on a freaking portal to get them to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do that with the Nintendo version due to the portal already being installed.
Yeah. And with the Amiibos, you don't have to keep buying them like every game. Like if you have a Mario Amiibo, it will be compatible with all the like Mario games that have that feature in. So.
Oh, it's only the portals that are compatible.
Amiibos can also only store like writable data from one game. Thankfully, I think Smash is the only game right now that actually writes data to the Amiibo.
That's true. I think it is an interesting concept that they're like trying to put new features into the game where you don't have to have it, but it's a nice little addition. And
yeah,
it's just nice to collect them, I guess.
Also, that Samus Racer outfit for Mario Kart 8 was just one more reason to justify pre-ordering Samus Amiibo.
One thing people keep complaining about for some reason is that the Amiibo, like a lot of the Amiibos look kind of cheap when, to me, they're not perfect, but they look high quality enough. And to be honest,
they don't need to be like first four figures quality. Okay?
Yeah, and they're not even that expensive, so why would you really care?
Because people are very picky.
It's collectibles. You gotta catch them all, Amiibos.
Still waiting for that Zero Suit Samus Amiibo.
Oh, we all know what you want the Zero Suit Samus Amiibo.
I know what's gonna happen because they're gonna make Amiibos for all of the Smash fighters.
Have you any of you played the Mario Kart 8 DLC?
I have it downloaded, but I've been playing Sonic Boom, so I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I don't have the money enough for that, and Smash, so
yeah. I've heard that it's really good though. So
it's probably not making F-Zero fans really mad because you have New City and you don't have a new F-Zero game or Captain Falcon as a character.
Yeah, I pointed that out on Twitter. I'm like, I like how we're getting an F-Zero pack for Mario Kart 8, but still no new word on a new F-Zero game.
Yeah.
When are we getting Snake in Mario Kart 8? They have DLC capabilities in Snake.
When are we getting another Metroid game?
Yeah, I think that's going to be announced at the next E3. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I really hope that it's 2D because Retro is apparently working on another Metroid game, and they're really good at making 2D games, and they got the exploration for Metroid down in Prime. They just need to take those things together, and smash them together.
I liked Prime, except it was sort of you pick it up and you don't stop playing it, but if you do stop playing it, you don't ever pick it up again.
They got the exploration in Prime, right? Everything gameplay-wise functions fine, but I feel it doesn't work in 3D. It's very clunky and awkward and difficult to control.
I've never played any of the Prime games, so I don't have much to say on that.
They're good, but it's hard to explain.
But we're the same with the 2D.
Basically, Metroid Prime Pinball is the best
The
one.
elevator doors look still tight.
So, are you saying you essentially want like another game like Super Metroid?
Either Super Metroid or Fusion. And basically, any Metroid game that isn't Metroid 2, any of the Metroid Prime games, and especially not Other M.
I do like the Metroid series. I just haven't really gone around to playing a lot of them. I did enjoy Super Metroid from what I played through the raw demo.
That is literally only the beginning.
Yeah. But even still, I did like what I played.
It's just playing more of it.
Yeah.
Also, I like that we are finally getting that Earthbound demo in Smash Wii U.
I was still need to play that game.
It's so good. Okay, and I have one issue with the soundtrack in Smash 3DS. It was the inclusion of Smiles and Tears.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a while back.
You might have, but I'm going to go over it again really quick anyway, just in case. Even in concept, that is just a really poor idea. Because the song is this really sad, emotional song that plays at the very end of the game. And it has no impact on you if you have not experienced the characters in the world of Earthbound. And even if you had, speeding it up in the way they did also removes any amount of emotion from it.
Yeah, the original Earthbound was actually
Find the override for the black.
I can't remember the developer's name, but he essentially played Dragon Quest and was like, no, I can make this lot better.
Like standard military.
And well, mate, let's
Yeah,
psychologically
yeah.
start all of Nintendo's mind.
Yeah, I actually am a bit disappointed right now because I can't remember his name right now either.
Yeah.
Hold on. Shigesato Ito.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. He is seriously one of the strangest men to ever exist, but makes some of the best games. He made a bass fishing game and that was good, okay?
What about Sega Bass Fishing?
I didn't play that one.
Neither did I, but I hear about it sometimes whenever like a big gameplay when I say one is brought up.
Yeah, Shigesato Ito is a friggin' genius. And it's unfortunate that he said that he's not going to make a Mother 4, but there is a Mother 4 fan-made in development coming out this winter.
I think that there's good. I have a feeling there's going to be another 3 or Earthbound 2 or whatever, like released overseas because well they announced they kind of brought it up at E3 and you can't really bring stuff like that up and not do anything.
Yeah, I honestly am still a little bit skeptical on it because that game came out nearly 10 years ago, and that was because of how poorly Earthbound did on its initial release.
We've got a cruiser on it.
The release of Mother 3 in America, it just seems really unlikely, especially at this point.
That is true, but Earthbound never came to Europe until the Virtual Console.
We'll have to find
It was released on Virtual Console on the Wii U, so.
Yeah, I forgot. What is it with Europe and not getting SNES RPGs?
I have no idea.
You guys didn't get any of the Final Fantasy games either, aside from Mystic Quest.
Wow. Thankfully, they're probably going to be removing, what was it, region locking, so.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Hopefully
at the very least they're considering it, and usually when Nintendo considers an idea like this, it's not a matter of if they'll do it, it's just a matter of when.
Unless you use the top loader, because that thing plays anything.
Also, you guys are lucky with your friggin' special edition George Mask 3D.
Do you know how, something got, moved to November 11th, that kind of screwed Europe over because we're still getting it on the 21st. So it's kind of like what happened in last year, I think, with Lost World, where it was
Just the opposite.
yes, simply the opposite. Where we got Lost World first, and now
It got delayed for it got delayed in America by like a week.
yeah, I have no idea why. It was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Maybe it was getting back at us for getting Wreck-It Ralph a few months early as well.
And I really can't see a reason why they didn't like put the release date to the 11th for Boom. All I'm thinking is that they're just like, oh, we forgot to change the release date for Europe. Screw it.
I imagine it went something like this.
Since we're talking about Boom now, should we just go into that?
Sure, but I've just remembered something that I was told about maybe a month ago. Apparently, Rainbow Rocks got released in theatres in the UK at some point, or it will be.
Okay. I was probably going to be getting the Blu-ray anyway, so.
Well, apparently it happened in
I did it
theatres.
for the first one, so might as well do it for this one, even though I still haven't watched Rainbow Rocks.
Yeah, I recommend it because I think it's a lot better than the original. Not saying the original is fast, though.
Well, the original was just a rehashed version of the first 2 episodes of season 1.
It was all right for what it was. It's nothing
I
special.
really liked it on my first watch, but on my second I was like, this actually isn't very good.
Yeah.
I will still compliment it on the soundtrack and the animation, though it was not on the same level of the show at the time.
Well, Rainbow was they really stepped up their game with those things especially.
Yeah, like I have the file for a camera on my computer. I just need to watch it. Because I don't have an excuse anymore for not watching it other than I'm lazy. Before it was there are no theaters anywhere near me that are playing it.
Well, I have a decent version I could send you if you want.
Well, I've got a camera up on my computer. It's just I need to get around to watching it.
But anyways, back to Sonic Boom. I'm getting really tired of everyone going on about how bad the game is.
The new Sonic 06.
Yeah. And it's just, okay, Sonic Adventure is not a bad game. Well, in some ways it is, but the thing is, it's still fun to play. It's not broken to the point where it's just like, why am I playing this? You know?
Yeah, it's glitchy, but those are like kinks with the whole. We're still transitioning into 3D.
Yeah, and that's understandable because yeah, Sonic Adventure is still a fun game, but it is buggy, and you know, it's not perfect by any means. So I don't understand
Something that I always stand by with games. Just because it's incredibly buggy does not mean that it's a bad game. Unless, however, all of those bugs are game breaking. In which case we've got an issue. But if it's all like minor graphical glitches or some models doing odd things,
yeah.
who cares? And that's all the glitches Sonic Boom has. It's just weird graphical stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't care about glitches. If it doesn't hinder my experience, I really couldn't care less. If I don't like a game, it's mainly technical problems. It's not like, okay, if a glitch like breaks the game where, okay, if this happens, you have to start all over from the start, yeah, that's a problem. But if it's just minor things, like texture popping in and out, stuff like that, I really don't care.
Yeah, like the worst glitch I've heard about was somebody that I actually know had the game crash on them, but in their entire playthrough of Rise of Lyric, it only happened once.
Yeah. Because, previous Crash Party that happened to me, when I, like, played other people's levels online, the game randomly crashes on me. But I've never seen it happen with anyone else, so I think it's just me.
Yeah, like when it comes to Boom, I will say that it's good, but it isn't quite good enough to warrant a $60 asking price on the Wii U anyway.
Yeah,
But if you can find it in probably about a year for $20, yeah, worth it.
I'm supposed to be getting it for my birthday, so I'm technically not paying for it, so. But,
Standard Crystal, however, is a different story and is completely worth the $40 they're asking for it right now.
I've enjoyed the demo for Standard Crystal. I'm probably going to get it at a later date, though.
Yeah, if you like the demo, you'll probably like the full game. So.
Yeah. And
although if I have one issue is that it suffers a little bit from Unleashed syndrome, and that you have to have a certain amount of I think they can call them emblems to access certain levels.
how do you get those? Are those like the crystals or?
And you get you get an emblem for beating the level, finding all the blueprints in the stage, and finding all the crystals in the stage. So there are 3 emblems per stage to get.
I don't really have an issue with those kind of things, just because, well, I've said this multiple times, but I grew up with games like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Turi, and those, like, kind of collectathon type of games, so the fact that you have to, like, look around for items and stuff, that never really bothered me.
Yeah, like I don't mind it. There's a lot of exploration to be done. Like specifically on the second level of the game, there is an entire section that you will not see unless you go back to play that level with sticks and knuckles.
Yeah, I like exploration. Like if it, like with Sonic, like one of my friends always likes to say that they should have a balance with speed, exploration, and platforming.
Yeah. That's something that a lot of people, when it comes to Sonic, don't seem to get. It's not all about speed.
Yeah.
You gotta go fast.
And I think the reason Marble Zone was the second level in the original game was to try to illustrate this point.
Yeah.
Like, Green Hill Zone was fast to show you that, like, hey, this game can be fast when you're really good at it. But Marble Zone is the second zone to show you, but you gotta slow down every now and then because this is still a platformer, okay?
Yeah, and then Springyard is more like a balance, like, it feels fast, but you have a lot of platforming sections as well, so it's kind of like in the middle.
And then Labyrinth Zone is like, but then there's also this shit.
Yeah, Labyrinth Zone is like, possibly the only stage I legitimately don't like in Sonic 1.
I never got past Marble
Yeah.
Zone.
Although I still understand its existence because I feel like Sonic games do need to slow down every now and then.
Yeah, because I hate it when, like, people play Generations, and, like, they play the first section of, like, Speed Highway, and they're just like, I want the entire game to just be like that. No, that's not what Sonic is.
Like, here's the thing, if Sonic was about pure speed, they would not have been platformers and it would have been racing games.
Exactly, and if you want that, just play All-Stars Racing.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Kind of, but...
Yes, we did.
Oh, well. Yeah, Sonic just needs to have a balance with those 3, like, styles, I guess.
And I feel like Colors actually got it fairly well. I think Unleashed and Generations, while good, actually no, Unleashed wasn't good. They put too much of an emphasis on speed by giving you giving you boost energy every time you pick up a ring.
Yeah.
But I think Colors with that gameplay style at least have the right balance because you only got a boost from destroying enemies or getting white wisp capsules.
You get it more often in Colors DS, because you get more. I feel you get more white wisps from enemies in that game as opposed to Carter's Wii.
Yeah.
I think that's mainly.
I think that's just following suit with Rush, where you got boost energy fairly often.
Yeah. I still need to play that game, or those games.
Rush is alright, like it's not bad,
Mm.
but Rush Adventure is so much better.
Mm.
Yeah, Sonic Boom is really good. Although the story is very silly, and it kind of knows that.
Mm.
I want to point out in both the Wii U version and in the comic prequel thing that is in the 3DS version, Shadow just comes right the hell out of nowhere.
Mm.
It's just like, I'm here now.
I wonder, speaking of Shadow, I wonder when he's going to appear in the show.
That's a good question. I'm wondering if they'll bother to explain how Sonic and everybody met Styx. Because nothing has explained that yet.
I want to know, like, how does Shadow know, like, where's the backstory with Shadow and Sonic? Because they clearly know each other.
Yeah, from what with Shattered Crystal, it's just they know each other. And I haven't played enough of Rise of Lyric. Like, they haven't even encountered each other yet, but Shadow has shown up.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, he's pretty much, he thinks he's superior, so he's just like...
Well, he is
Yeah.
the ultimate being. Quote unquote.
Warcops. Still in one piece. Nice to see you.
Also, Jason Griffith was a horrible Shadow.
It's like...
Slightly more whispery
Why didn't you choose to have a job at McDonald's? I am Shadow the Hedgehog. And, I don't know. But it's just
I am the ultimate being. I am far above McDonald's.
just like, you didn't answer my question.
Would you like fries with that?
Frying and buying.
David Humphrey was a really good Shadow.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't last very long.
Yeah. Although, fun fact, when Sega was changing the voice actors from Unleashed to technically Colors, I guess. I really want to say Free Riders because I think that was the first game to use the new voice actors.
Mm. Yeah, it was the first game that was released by... Apparently Colors was recorded first.
Wait, isn't Free Riders the Connect game?
Believing that at the very least for Kirk Thornton because based on his delivery of his one line as Shadow, I think Generations, at least for him, was recorded first because if you compare his "You got this, Sonic" in Generations and all of his dialogue in Free Riders, it's like a completely different person.
Mm. From what I've heard of Shadow in Boom, I think, you know, a lot of people are saying he's still bad, but honestly, I think he's gotten a lot better. He doesn't feel as, like, forced. Because, you know, in Generations, he put too much emphasis on the last words, because it's just like, chaos control, and stuff like that.
Yeah, he sounds like a snake after all.
Speaking of Snake, I really don't think he's coming back to Smash 4.
No! Don't say that.
I think it was just a one-time thing.
No, the thing is, Smash Bros. Characters they need to have some sort of relevance. Because, you know, Snake and Brawl, the thing is, in the Metal Gear Solid, the Shadow Moses Island, the robot in the background was actually from an MGS game that wasn't out yet, and it wasn't released on the Wii. So essentially, they were advertising a Sony product, and you know,
with adding Lucario at least made sense, although usually was the worst decision. But that at least made sense because Gen 4 had just come out, so they're like, let's advertise this.
Yeah, and the thing with Smash 4, the reason I don't think he's coming back is because Metal Gear Solid doesn't have that like much of any relevance to Nintendo now because well.
Metal Gear has not been relevant to Nintendo since the NES days.
Yeah, and it's just like, I can guarantee you that if Metal Gear Solid 5 released for the Wii U, I guarantee Snake would have been in the game.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the developer, Sakurai and the developer for MGS, they're both like best friends in real life, so.
Yeah, a lot of developers are like that. Like,
Yeah.
because they're competing, we see them as like hating each other's guts, but they're all like one big group. It's just business. They have to try to compete with each other.
Yeah, because I've seen some people say that Microsoft and Sony could potentially be Nintendo fans, because actually I think the main Sony, I forget his name, but he actually has 2 Wii U's and he wants Nintendo to succeed, so yeah, they have
Yeah. I'm not gonna say that.
But the thing is, competition is good for business in some ways, as it isn't in others.
Yeah, because they all appreciate what each other are doing, but they have to compete with each other because it's just business in the industry. You have to do it, otherwise you're not really gonna succeed.
The one thing that I always bring up when people are like, oh, they're competing, so they must hate each other.
No.
In like the 60s and 70s, the publishers of, actually not in the 60s and 70s, before that, of National Comics and Timely Comics, which later become DC and Marvel respectively, they played golf together. They
Yeah.
just hate each other so much.
Actually, I'm just going to bring up a point here. If competition means that everyone against each other in any form of competition means they hate each other, why is the Olympics allowed to run? That would just cause war.
If companies hate each other, why are they in their business to begin with?
I mean, I don't doubt that there are some companies that might hate another, but for the most part,
Yeah.
just because they are competing with another company does not inherently mean that they hate each other.
Yeah. Like Nintendo and Sega had like the biggest rivalry back then. But who was the first company that Sega went to after they like dropped as a first party? Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's just and also you have to have competition with the consoles because it drives the companies to do better and like just expand upon what they already have.
And never do an Atari 7200. That is the worst business decision ever.
Actually, I think the Apple Pippin is probably the absolute worst, because that is, no joke, the worst selling video game console of all time.
That's because no one wanted it. It's not because there was anything bad with it.
It was released in like the early 90s and was $600.
That's basically what Sony tried to do with the PS3 and Microsoft tried to do with the Xbox One. Guess what? No one bought them. Well, they're buying them now, but that's different. There's been dozens of price
You
drops.
just stole my point. I was going to say exactly that.
There's been dozens of price drops, so that's why they're selling now. But the prices were too high for those two specific consoles at the time.
Also, the rent is too damn high.
Speaking of Microsoft, do you guys think the Kinect is just dead? Because
The Kinect should have never lived.
No one seems to like it, and
I bought one because I thought that they were going to release a software patch that would make everything obsolete.
Concept, but Microsoft did not spend enough time working out the bugs for it to be good.
I don't think you can really have like full like AAA titles with like no controller.
Well,
Yeah.
You could try,
And like the one Mech Warrior game that tried to solve that by doing like you play with the Kinect and the controller, but that just made things worse.
Yep. I can't see. That just seems like a mess.
No, what I want to do is I want to find the original MechWarrior game and a controller that works with it, because it had a 42 button controller, from what I'm told.
Yeah. Have you played Free Riders, Chase?
Oh, you mean that's
that is
a
actually the
bundle.
only game. That is actually the only game that I ever got to work for the Kinect, but I physically cannot play it anymore.
Oh, I nearly broke my neck the first time I played it, because I did a front flip hoping that it would respond on the Kinect, giving me an S rank. But no, it's completely random, and I nearly broke my neck for nothing.
I could play Free Riders for a while because I don't know what magic I had performed, but it worked. Now I can't because after my spinal surgery, I can't bend back far enough to be able to turn.
Yeah, I'm the only one of us that hasn't played Free Riders.
You are not missing much.
I kind of want to.
The one thing that I bring up with Free Riders and really like a friggin' Kinect game, it would have been so much better if you had the option to use the controller. Like, if they had preferred you to use the Kinect, but were like, you can use the controller if you want.
Yeah, because I enjoyed Sonic Riders, the original, from what I played, and I think Free Riders would have been like a competent game if you could have a controller.
Yeah. Also, I'll be right back. Continue talking. Hopefully, don't go on to YouTube while I'm done.
Yes, that will be one of our topics later.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Probably saving that for last.
Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about YouTube later.
I've lost my train of thought.
What train of thought? We're not supposed to have one here.
How dare you have a train of thought?
I know, right?
Banished to the moon.
We'll have Luna banish you to the sun. If Celestia banishes people to the moon, then and she's god of the sun, wouldn't it make sense if Luna banished people to the sun instead of the moon, despite being the goddess of the moon?
Well, then you die.
Yeah, but you die on the moon because you can't breathe.
Now quick, to the cartographer.
So we have no choice to believe that either they're so powerful they can breathe in space and they are the equivalent of Super Saiyans, Twilight, and or all ponies regularly have the ability to breathe in space.
The cartographer keeps acting like the transmission is coming from everywhere on the books.
Well, a lot of fictional characters seem to breathe in space anyway, so...
Yeah, but there's usually a reason behind
I
it.
got it.
Well,
That can't be right. This guy can't.
well, Sonic went into space and
You've already
he doesn't really have a reason for why he can breathe.
Someone else made it deeper inside than we did.
You mean the planet's hollow?
Let me see if I can figure out a way to reach these.
I think it's just like, you know, who cares?
There's a terminus on the far side of the complex.
Oh, speaking of breathing in space, me and fellow Seas Brain and Nick made a joke where, you know, maybe Mario can breathe in space because he eats so many mushrooms. And we're just like, you know, keep eating mushrooms, kids, and you'll be able to breathe in space without an astronaut suit.
Or maybe that he's just hallucinating that he's in space because drugs. We all know that Mario is the icon for substance
Let's get to that
abuse.
terminus and find infinity.
And then it's just like, oh, I bet you like some random kid's gonna do that now, and
Take drugs and go to space.
it's just gonna come on the news and just like, not me, I didn't do this. That would be hilarious. Anyways. Yeah, the thing is Sonic Boom, it's easy, but it's meant to be catered towards a younger audience, so I don't really have a problem with that. And also, I kind of see it as being kind of like a Lego game, where, you know, those games are still fun, but they're really easy, so...
The game doesn't have to be hard to be fun. I mean,
Exactly.
a puzzle game.
Yeah, look at...
So long as it's not impossible to lose.
Yeah. Look at Colors and Generations. Those are really, really solid and fun games to play, but they're really easy as well, so...
Of course, I would have no idea because I know nothing about modern Sonic games. I know like the first 3.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have like side things to do where it can be challenging, but if you just want to like beat the story, it's no challenge at all. And it's kind of funny because college reviews kept on saying the game has difficulty spikes, which is almost laughable because never in a game have I encountered a difficulty spike. I'm just like, you guys need to seriously get better at playing video games. I'm sorry. It's like if I'm bad at a game, I'm bad at a game. I don't like fault the game itself for that. That's just me.
You're not going to say you're bad at a game. Oh, I died once on this level, but never again. So that level is a specific difficulty spike, and not just me running out of health.
What I don't really, I'm not a big fan of in games is when, like, most of the game is easy, but it's when you get to the last world where it's just like, oh, it's like, not necessarily, I want to be the guy difficulty, but it's just like, it's
If a game's that hard, it wouldn't be sold.
Yeah, but it's just like, it starts really easy. Everything up to the last world is easy, and then it just becomes ridiculous. I think you need to have like a build up to it. Like, okay, start simple, and then build up to the difficulty you have in the last world, so you're more like prepared for it, you know. Because you can't just like randomly have the difficulty spike like to ridiculous amounts. Because an easy game is fun, but if you have the last one just ridiculously hard with no build-up, it just becomes... It just comes off as, like... Why? I don't know how to explain it. But you know.
I'm back.
I don't know.
No, go away. You're not wanted anymore.
Well, it's just like, the Sonic game is just like, it's pretty much like a Lego game, because both are really easy and they kind of share the same kind of mechanics, but they're still fun to play.
They're ordering all units to converge on the tower.
I guess I got their attention.
I guess everyone died.
Yeah.
You know, from what the demo I played with Rise of Lyric, I never encountered a bug. Like, there was one time when Amy didn't like use the enemy, but that was like on one occasion.
Probably an AI glitch.
There were,
that wasn't
I
possible to avoid.
encountered a couple, but they were all really minor. Like, Knuckles just randomly decided to jump up and down for absolutely no reason.
It's like,
So basically, what you're saying is the only thing that needs to be improved on is the AI, which is more or less flawless.
it's just like...
Yeah, because usually, under normal circumstances, they just follow you and replicate your actions.
Which is essentially what the Lego games do. Do their attacks like matter? Because in the Lego games, they could, attack a droid and nothing will happen.
They can destroy enemies, but usually you are the best force of combat.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone is useless unless you become them.
Alright.
Also, if you just use the enter beam without a target, it looks like they're just shooting lightning out of their hands. And that already, way better Infamous game than Infamous First Light.
I'm a Sith Lord.
Unlimited power!
So about that whole, I still need to watch all the Star Wars movies except for 4.
Yeah, I want to know.
By the way, in the entirety of the original Star Wars, they only say lightsaber once.
Oh wow. Never noticed that actually.
What, is that in episode 4 or something?
Yeah, the A New Hope, which is now episode 4, is the very first one.
It's just like I wonder if after 7, 8, and 9 are like released, I wonder if they're going to make a Lego Star Wars 3 based on those movies.
He's the horse.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Lego Star Wars 4. I forgot about that one.
Maybe. Also, if everybody is taking into account George Lucas's initial plans, we'll also be getting an 11, 12, and 13.
Oh
Or
wow.
no, 10, 11, and 12.
How far did the books go? Oh yeah, just so to remind everyone, they're not originally movies, they're originally a book series.
I don't know. Basically, what George Lucas, when he made the original trilogy, or at least was making them, he planned on making at least 4 trilogies initially.
Oh wow. Well, we had the 7th movie title was it
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
But it takes place after the original trilogy because it's got Luke Skywalker and everybody in it.
I wonder have they really like removed all the what do you call it, like the books and like the extended universe from canon?
Yeah, the expanded universe, which most people really love, is no longer canon to the movies.
I don't really know what to think about that.
Here's what you should think about it. Disney!
Because George Lucas himself decided nope.
Yeah.
Nah, screw all this other stuff that I made through most of my life. It's not important.
It's only, but the best, one of the really interesting things about the expanded universe, they even took some of those really dumb Jedi laws that the prequels had, like a Jedi can't love, and Luke Skywalker did away with those in the expanded universe because they make no sense.
But what about the whole
I
London?
don't know how I feel about this because say what you will about Force Unleashed, but that had clear build up to episode 4.
Wait, I'm gonna give a reason to that lore.
If I recall correctly, the Force Unleashed games, both of them, I think, are supposed to take place in between episodes 3 and 4.
Guys.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you a reason why that lore exists. Okay, the lore a Jedi can't love is because you shouldn't bring someone else into a conflict because you're going to be fighting wars all the time and never at home. So why should you have someone be in hysteric tragedy after all of that?
What if they
The explanation that most people seem to go with is that it ties into like Buddhist philosophies of letting go of material possessions. But like they tried in a comic called Star Wars Tales or something like that. They actually tried to give an explanation as to why that rule exists within Jedi society, and it's so incredibly silly.
So basically you're saying I've got the best reason.
Well, if they tend to fight for themselves, then it should be fine.
Yeah. Basically, what ended up happening was many, like some thousands of years before the movies even took place, a Jedi went to a planet and adopted 2 kids. When they were teenagers, they both fell in love with this same woman. Eventually, they started fighting over her, and the emotion between the two was so raw and powerful that they blew up the entire planet they were on.
Because overpowered storytelling?
Just like how have like people saying, oh, the Falcon Punch can destroy a planet.
Well, apparently it can, according to Star Wars.
Is the Force Unleashed not canon anymore then?
I don't think so.
I don't know how to feel about that because I do like the characters in those games.
At the very least, we've always known that the DLC missions are so not canon.
Well, it's just, the Jedi Temple could be canon.
Yeah, but like the one on I think it was on Tatooine when Starkiller kills Obi-Wan on friggin' Mos Eisley. Luke turns to the dark side on Hoth.
That's pretty much a what-if scenario.
I swear, Tatooine sounds like a bad space age holiday.
Fun fact about the original ending for Return of the Jedi. What was supposed to happen was when Luke helps Vader take off his helmet, Luke was supposed to put on the helmet and then proclaim, "I am Vader." And that's where it was supposed to end. Wow.
But apparently not.
But George Lucas decided that ending was too dark and that the movie was intended for kids.
What?
Wow. Also, you know how in Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker has that whole black outfit on for pretty much the entire movie?
Yeah.
The symbolism for that was that Luke might be turning to the dark side, but if at the very end of the movie, his collar falls open and it was white underneath the entire time. And it's like, and that was supposed to be like, oh, he might have fallen to the dark side, but he actually didn't.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
He was a Jedi all along.
Who would know? Yeah, I was, since the extended universe is no longer canon, I kind of want Starkiller and some of the other characters from those games to...
Wait, Dracula's part of Star Wars?
Wait, what?
You just said Dracula's part of Star Wars.
No, Starkiller and from Force Unleashed. I want those characters to be, brought back, because they never finished that story, and that kind of annoys me.
Okay, are we talking about Star Wars or Force Unleashed?
After what most people thought of Force Unleashed 2.
I still haven't played it.
I'm lost. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I enjoyed the first one, but I'm with you, Chase, with what you said in the podcast you did. I hated that one section where you had to take down that Star Destroyer. I didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, specifically, I dislike that part of the game in the HD versions. In the PS2 version, it's just a bunch of button combinations, in which case it's fine. But with the HD version, they're just like, move the thing around until Coda says that's fine. Which he says it in the most strangely hilarious way.
Yeah. I don't think...
Just the way he says, now tear it out of the sky is funny. I don't know why.
It's funny because I played a bit of the Wii version, but only like a little bit. But it's funny because I went to a friend's house and played it, and the level he was almost to death. I was about to say the Death Egg, wow, the Death Star.
Wait, your friend is the Death Star?
No,
as I said, I'm completely lost. What are we talking about?
Force Unleashed Wii. I played it at a friend's house once.
So we're still talking about Star Wars.
Final level, so the minute I started the game, I was just getting killed instantly.
Are we talking about Sonic or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
I swear there was a Sonic Force Unleashed game.
Yeah, in that Star Destroyer section, I was just throwing the TIE fighters around, hoping something will happen, and then
basically what you have to do is you have to take down about 4 or 5 TIE fighters, take those pieces of rubble that are electrified that float across the screen, throw those into the pylons that are just off screen, and then you can start pulling down the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I tried electrocuting them, but it felt really random. And then I didn't know you had to let go of the Star Destroyer to get rid of TIE fighters coming to you, because if you don't, you'll just die.
Yeah, but you also have to be quick about it, because if you take too long destroying them, the Star Destroyer will go back to its initial position and you'll have to start all over.
Yeah, that section just sucked. The rest of the game was pretty good though.
Yeah, I liked it right up until that point, and I was just like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah. There's been really much of a reason to go back to it though, because I got the light side ending, but I don't really feel like getting the dark side one, because it's just it's another boss fight, but you're just fighting Vader again, which you kind of already did.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, who do you beat at the end of the game to get the light side ending?
Darth Sidious or the Emperor.
Okay, beating Darth Vader is still a horrible ending, because if you decide to kill Darth Vader, you're turned into that, like, into the robotic Star Killer that's in the DLC missions.
Yeah.
And basically, you just take Darth Vader's place.
Mm.
So either way, you get a pretty shit ending. Either you die or you become Vader.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that wouldn't be canon, seeing as wasn't it
the
Luke
Dark-
kills Darth Vader?
Yeah, the dark side ending isn't canon. Again, it's just...
Although apparently they are bringing back Darth Vader in some capacity in new Star Wars.
How?
We must be getting close to
If he's dead, how do you bring him back?
Well, I don't think it'll be like the same Darth Vader, like Anakin Skywalker, but it'll be
someone else.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be a replacement.
Maybe he's not Darth Vader, but Darth Vader.
Or maybe it's the female Darth Vader we saw in one of the original versions.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Also, if you read like the original Star Wars comics that Marvel printed, which by the way were printed before the movies came out.
Ah, that's what I meant by the books.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot of the stuff changed in from that initial snippet that Lucasfilms gave Marvel and what actually happened. For example, Luke and Leia are very clearly romantically interested in each other, and it's all based on the way they act and the stuff they do. It's pretty clear that Lucas did not initially intend for them to be related.
get something before you climb all the way up.
Yeah, which makes it really awkward in the films.
Especially in the comics when they like actually kiss.
Yeah. But yeah, the one thing I'm like really confused about is like why in the movies do they always seem to use the basic stormtroopers? And like in the games and stuff they have all these fancy versions of them. And it's just like, why didn't you use these in the movies?
Yeah, because they're part of the expanded universe.
Well, but even still, it's just like, you can't just have one.
Honestly, I think it's probably because the original movies had just those basic stormtroopers, and they wanted to, with the prequels, at least try to make it seem consistent as to why they would do that. Logically, you see how kind of poorly in battle the clone troopers in the prequels are, but they had to do that so that it makes sense that they'd still use the stormtroopers despite how horrible they are at their jobs.
No, that's true, actually, yeah. But it's
Okay, what's the difference between a stormtrooper and a clone trooper?
There isn't one, they just look different.
yeah, pretty much.
So different armor.
It's funny how in the Star Wars: The Clone Wars game I have,
Is that what called Heroes?
Well, everyone's just gone quiet, and it's not my internet. As far as I know. Is anyone there?
I'm here.
Okay. Where'd Harry go?
I don't know, I heard him say hello and then...
Shield's still up.
No, Harrison! You died! Okay. Okay, you're not dead yet.
Well, what I was saying was, in the Clone Wars game I have, there's one section where you're Mace Windu, and like clone troopers are trying to help you, but you can't just go up to them and just kill them, and nothing happens if you do that.
Is that the Republic Heroes?
No. I'll send you a link to the box. I'll send you a link to the box art. It's kind
Remembering I can't check any links because I
know
ain't got my computer.
it's more focused on ground combat.
Great, that's all the course. Head to the top of the
I don't.
I still stand by the fact that Battlefront 2 is the best Star Wars game ever made.
on the show. Tiger Star, the clone was in the show, just came off.
That's because the show was so amazing, wasn't it?
Season 2 was the last really good season.
Okay, the show was okay.
It was decent. It's better than.
I think seasons 1 and 2 were really, really good. Season 3 was kind of poor, and then I just stopped watching it.
We all know why it existed in the first place. Because they had money and they needed to get more of it.
Basically, Cad Bane is awesome, is what I'm trying to say.
I love his voice. Okay, this is the guy, this is the bottle.
That's right, Ray. They're not inside at all. They're moving into orbit.
Oh, this is probably based off the movie.
Yeah, well, it starts
Oh, that's Attack of the Clones, never mind.
well, it starts at the end of episode 2, then it basically, after that, it basically just becomes its own story.
Yeah, I've seen this one around in like game stores, but never actually played it.
I think it's worth a look, because I think it's a pretty fun game. It's pretty short, but
I'll keep trying.
all it is a fun time.
Get that beacon down.
Yeah, also something that I just remembered. You've heard Lyric's voice in Sonic Boom, right?
Yeah.
Well, the guy that does his voice is Patrick Seitz, who also provided the voice for Zalmon in Sonic Lost World.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But he's probably even better known for his role as Dracula in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's just a fun little tidbit.
There's still too much interference to warn them. We've got to disable that.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Star Wars?
Episode 3 was actually really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed episode 3 actually. Like, it has the most lightsaber duels out of all the films, and I like that.
You were the chosen one.
They're heading to the second
Am
floor
I?
as well.
What was I chosen to do?
Prometheans don't want the Covenant here either.
To do the
The
podcast.
Batman's already lighting
Oh.
up reports.
Yeah, I was chosen to record for the podcast.
I was chosen to hate everything popular.
You are the hipster.
Unfortunately.
The hipster YouTuber. Yeah, I just want the next movies to be good. That's all I want.
Speaking of YouTube, segue.
So I guess how we should handle this. How did you guys start making? Like, how did you guys get into YouTubing in the first place?
Who's going first?
Initially, I had actually, I'd been technically on the site. I didn't have an account until like 2009, 2010. But I've been on the site since it first got really popular in like 2005.
Oh, so you mean when it existed?
Until like what 2007ish? Because the first time I saw it was when my sister was on her laptop. So and then went on YouTube and just I thought it was like a really cool way to like find episodes from like cartoons and stuff. That's all I really thought about it back then.
That's how I started with YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And this was when you remember when Bakugan was cool.
No, Bakugan was never cool.
It was in Rexbury, Idaho in like 2000. Pretty much since the time it aired for 4 years or so. But me and my cousin would watch, because this was before YouTube really started to crack down on uploading episodes of shows.
Yeah.
We would watch like the newest. We just watch episodes of Bakugan all the freaking time, and that's how I started watching stuff on YouTube. Then in 2010, I started watching like gaming related stuff, and the first channel I ever saw was Pete Gore, if I recall correctly. And I actually made my YouTube account specifically so I could subscribe to him. It's not the one that I use now, but my very first YouTube account that I don't even remember the name to was made to subscribe to him.
Now, I've had like 7 YouTube accounts, but I can only remember my first one and my one that I'm using now. And the reason I had 7 was because I made like I made 1 and it worked, and then I made like 3 and then none of them worked, and then I made another one that worked, and then I made another 2 or 3 that didn't work, and now I'm on this one.
Right. So
It's mostly because I kept forgetting my password.
So how did you guys like decide on what you wanted to do for your channels, I guess?
For me, it was a lot of trial and error. I started out just setting up the webcam on the built-in webcam on my monitor. And I would just talk about whatever, and those videos were horrible. Especially when I decided to review games.
Yes, we all remember that state.
There was no footage, no script, no nothing. It was just me talking about the game.
Yeah, that happened to me. Well, there was gameplay, kind of, though. Essentially, I tried doing reviews a long time ago, and it was just like, oh, let's just wing it. I just hit record on the camera, and then just started playing random levels and just said random crap. It was really bad.
I don't remember a lot of the stuff that I made or did or even said in my early YouTube videos, but I do recall one quote specifically from the I had made a video for Sonic's 19th birthday, and one of the first things I said in that video, and it's also one of the most forgettable things I've ever said. I was like, today is Sonic's 19th birthday. If you didn't know that, you're an idiot.
Well, apparently I'm an idiot because I didn't know about the 25th birthday until the game came out.
If all of my old videos were still up, you would be able to see just how much of a complete Sonic fanboy I was. My logic was, if it wasn't Sonic, it was horrible. And they were bad. Then I started making camcorder Let's Plays, which, well, bad. I would say they were actually better than most camcorder Let's Plays because the camera was somewhat centered, and I usually still had commentary. But then I started doing Let's Plays with a Dazzle, which were also horrible. Then I did that for a couple of months. Redid the Let's Play thing for just a couple of months. When I then finally decided, I want to try out these reviews, because I've been watching so many reviewers. Like, Some Call Me Johnny. Actually, I think at the time I was really only watching Some Call Me Johnny and like the Angry Video Game Nerd. Oh, and also John Fine and Peanut Butter Gamer, all those guys. So I finally decided to do some reviews. Well, not the first video I ever did, but review-wise, the first video I ever did was the Darkwing Duck review, which I still think is pretty good for my first review. And then that's where I am now.
What about you, Joey?
Well, as I said, I made 500,000 accounts, about 7, and most of it was just me forgetting my password. But the first one was just to subscribe to people, so that's not worth mentioning past that. Second one, don't remember. Third one, don't remember. Fourth one, don't remember. Fifth one was Halo Freak 17, I think it was. And I was uploading a Let's Play of Halo Reach done by my camcorder, which people should know is a piece of shit. Because I had to replace my batteries every 10 minutes.
I know that feel.
And I was also trying to do it with friends over Xbox Live. Anyone who's played Halo Reach should know that the campaign does not work online. It's just impossible.
It works fine in split screen. No?
Split screen, fine. Single player, fine. Online, no. And I was trying to do this entire Let's Play with friends online, and I got on like like halfway through the second mission. That's where that is. If anyone can ever find out if that account hasn't been deactivated. Next account, don't remember, and now I'm at my current account, where you can find all of my horrible videos. Now, they're not that horrible. I'm currently doing a Let's Play of... what am I currently doing? I am currently doing a Let's Play of Unreal 2. Which... It's a good game, but from what I told... Nah, my English is terrible today. From what I was told, everyone hated it because of the ending. Because it was something different.
That's the thing.
Where all of the characters die, nothing's solved, you've just saved everything, though, and you'll never get rid of it.
Well, endings don't change my view on a game. If the game is fun, and I enjoy the
Oh yeah, the game's fun, and it's
bad,
challenging as
I
well.
don't care.
It's just linear as hell, but it's not actually linear as hell, despite some might make you believe in what I've just said about it being linear as hell, because there are other routes you can take within this linear path. And if you take these other routes instead of just going the path which everyone expects you to go, you will find cool things. Like, sometimes you will find a weapon before the point of the game where you are supposed to unlock this weapon. I just found a glitch in Halo 4. Fun.
Is that essentially all you guys need to say about it?
Nope. The first video I ever watched on YouTube was Harry Potter Puppet Pals.
I don't remember that.
Those were amazing.
Those are still... I still say that the Mysterious Ticking Noise is pretty damn funny.
That was the first video I ever saw on YouTube.
That was one of my first as well. But the thing with...
I'm now reminded. I saw somebody did a version of Potter Puppet Pals where they replaced the original visuals with...
Oh, there was those people behind the sofa. Oh wait, what? Oh no, I saw a different one. Yeah, people did it, except it was live action of people just popping their heads up behind the sofa.
I saw that one too.
Should I go into my story now?
Yes. Or
Okay,
we will
so-
kill you.
The way I got into YouTube was, well, I got into it from my sister and just yesterday already. But then, it was around 2008 and 9, where I started looking at Let's Plays and stuff. I watched a lot of people like Hellfire Comms, and I can't remember the guy's name from the life of me, but I watched the Majora's Mask LP, and I was just like, I want to do this. I want to see if I can have my own.
I doubt this is the guy, but I'm going to ask anyway. Was it Sir Ron Lionheart?
No, I don't think so, no.
This is Ron Lionheart.
But essentially, I just want to see if I can put my own spin on it, and yeah, I thought it looked like fun, so I was just like, I bought a flip camera, and it's funny, my first few videos, I didn't know how to use a tripod back then, so I put the camera on top of a water bottle, and you couldn't tell how bad the camera angle was for those videos, because I kept on adjusting it to make it actually good, and it still was pretty bad. And yeah, for a couple of years I used a camera and a tripod and all that. It was fine. I tried my best to position the camera in a good angle so you can see all the game, and it's clear and everything. But it wasn't.
It was upside down.
That would be funny. But no. And then sometimes I had delays just because the camera, the battery on the camera decides to just crap out on me, and essentially, it was pretty much the same, in the same dilemma as like your camera, Jerry, but essentially you could only record for like 5 minutes, if that, and it just dies. So then I just like eventually I went to find a capture card, and that's pretty much where I am today. And I was originally going to call myself Supersonic Gamer when I was like thinking of ideas for a username, but for whatever reason I decided to change it like at the last second.
How much it would have been? Everybody has gamer in the title.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially my reason for it is just I enjoy watching Let's Plays, and I thought that I want to try this out, and that's pretty much it.
My reason for doing Let's Plays and starting videos other than just subscribing was because I saw other people's Let's Plays and said, I can do this 1,000 times better. I can, but I don't. Because equipment, mostly. And really can't be bothered to make a schedule.
I blocked this out of my memory for how bad it was, but I just remembered my actual very first LP that was never uploaded. It was a Let's Play of Sonic Adventure. It was so horrible. Basically, what I did was I had a couple of friends over, because at the very least I knew I couldn't do all the commentary for the entire game myself. So I had a couple of friends over to at least try to get me to do the commentary.
That's funny.
I also didn't have a tripod, so I had one of them hold the camera the entire time.
Oh wow. That's funny you mentioned that.
The Let's Play was all just really stupid stuff and stolen jokes from Drunken Dan's LP of Sonic Adventure.
It's funny you mentioned that, Murray, because in my early days I always had a friend over, and we always recorded the crap out of LPs and stuff, and you'd rarely find a video back then where my friend wasn't in the video. Whereas nowadays it's usually just me, and I only have guests on occasion.
Yeah, I am considering starting up occasional Let's Plays again, but the main reason I stopped was just they started to become a chore, not only to record, but commentary-wise, I stopped having a lot to say. Like in my Arkham Asylum LP, I did my absolute best to try to make it through without having somebody else in the thing.
Yeah.
But finally I was like, I can't say anything more about Arkham Asylum, so I brought in a guest in the last couple of parts. Like, I spent an entire part talking about movies.
The thing with me is just, well, I enjoy making LPs, but it comes to a point where, I don't want to just keep making the same thing, because, again, I enjoy it, but if it's, no matter how much you like doing something, if that's all you do, it kind of drains you, so that's why I'm trying to, branch out. So now, I'm actually doing reviews and, this podcast and potentially other things. So I'm not.
You don't want to do it. There is such a thing as being too versatile with your content.
Yeah. Which is why
usually I say just stick to 2 or 3 things that you do really well.
Yeah, which
Like
is
speed
why
running and Let's Plays.
Yeah, which is why I do generally just 3 things, like the podcast reviews and LPs now. So, and the podcast is more like a way to relax. It's just a way for just me and you guys to just generally just talk about things.
Unlike the podcast that I'm doing every now and then, this one's actually kind of coherent. We have topics.
Yeah.
With the late night podcast, it's just we get bored, so let's talk about random stuff. And my reasoning, like, we spent probably about 10 minutes trying to figure out whose channel it would go on, me, Dan's, or Velcro's. Eventually, I decided, how about I put it up on my channel? Because my videos are scripted, so at least I seem somewhat confident.
Yeah.
But in reality, when I'm not scripted, I'm a bumbling fool. So the reason I decided to put the podcast up on my channel, because there's not enough that reflects me for that bumbling fool I truly am.
The podcast is only on weekends, so, and, I try to, I usually record, twice a week, so I generally have, a decent amount of content to, edit and upload, and reviews take the longest to make. I schedule a bunch of LP videos and stuff, so there's content for people to watch, and in the meantime, I'm usually working on a review.
Yeah, reviews are fun to make, but they do take a lot of time, and in general, depending on the game, a lot out of you. And then there are times when you just hit writer's block, and even though you know exactly what to say about a game, you don't know how you're going to say it, which is exactly what I hit with the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 review script.
How long has this recording going on for?
I don't know. How long has it been going on for?
The call.
The call's been going on for about an hour and a half, but...
Okay, so we've got about 3 more hours of podcast.
It depends how long we can keep going.
Yeah, but writer's block with scripts is the absolute worst thing, because it's always, you know exactly what to say, you just don't know how to say it.
Yeah, because I kind of want to do Luigi's Mansion next, but I'm not too sure how to handle that as a review.
Yeah, which is why what I do is I can't spend too long to think about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I start to overthink it, and then I just don't want to do a review. Like, I spent the Papers, Please review is definitely never going to happen, because I spent way too long trying to figure out how to make that script work, and nope, not going to work anymore.
Yeah, and doing reviews was actually a good thing for me, because in college I have 2 to almost 3 hour breaks in between some lessons, and I need something to occupy my time, because if I didn't have anything to do, then I'm just walking around aimlessly, and I usually go outside and then get some paper out and just think of what I want to put in the script, and it's more of a peaceful environment, because I don't have things to distract me, I guess, and it's easy to just write a script in that environment.
Yeah. Scripts, for me, it's not the hardest thing, unless you get writer's block or something, because I am, for some reason, insanely good at just tuning everything out and focusing on one thing.
Yeah. The thing is, the story of how I became a brain video, that took forever to write, because it was written on the computer, and I had to use my complete willpower to go back and continue writing it, because when I'm on the computer, I usually don't go straight to writing things like that. And yeah, it started in February, and it finished in September. And
Stuff like that I find is generally just a poor idea to script. But it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you try to script it, it's gonna take forever and is gonna come off as really scripted. But if you don't script it, you're gonna ramble and you're gonna trip over your words all the time.
Yeah, I think that things like that writing video and reviews, I feel those have to be scripted, because I feel that if they aren't, it becomes off as really unprofessional.
Reviews have to be scripted, definitely, but stuff like the story, usually you can just talk about it off the top of your head. Like I did.
That's true.
When I was still doing Let's Plays, I occasionally did rants, and I just had I just had like general outlines of what to do there.
Yeah. Well, grants, I can see that just like recording, but it is something that
There is a slight problem with stuff like that because I did multiple rants, each for probably about 15 minutes, but then I recorded a rant just talking about overall the Bronin fan base and outsiders, I guess outsiders, reactions towards it. I thought, oh, this will be like 15, 20 minutes like all the others. Next thing I knew, I'd been doing it for nearly an hour.
But, yeah, things, sometimes, when I want to script something, it's usually because I want to structure it and, structure my points, more. Because if I didn't do that with the Bernie video, it would be a mess.
I think with stuff like that, it's like an entire script of what exactly to say is a pretty poor idea, but like a skeleton of how to go about it.
That's true.
Which is what I did with like the rants. I had stuff I was going to talk about, but not what I was going to say about it.
Right.
Like everything, the rants that I did about Allegor and Twilight and King Sombra, I was just like, fucking really?
Yeah.
That's how dare they make
I intentionally tried to have like misleading titles because of clickbait, but
I get, one thing to say about the YouTube thing, going back to that for a bit, well, we technically are on that, but, anyways, I enjoy making the video. I kind of enjoy editing it, for the most part. What I don't like is rendering videos, because that takes freaking forever for me.
What I think is probably the worst part of the review, but at the same time my absolute favorite, is the editing process. Like, I really like editing it when I start, but near the end, I'm just like, I need this done. Because it starts to become so tedious. Especially when I'm putting in footage, and then when I have to do the music, which is probably the easiest part.
The music is just all I do is just download tracks that I think will work and just put them in.
Royalty free, remember? Gotta be royalty free.
Also, I want to point out that the intro, specifically the flash effect for the Gargoyles Quest 2 video, and also the credits, those two things combined took me the longest to do for that entire video.
I would like to make an animation, but I'm not, I don't have that kind of skill. I don't think
You also don't have the patience.
I don't think I have a program that can do that to my knowledge.
Do you have Flash?
I could be wrong.
Do you have Flash?
I don't know, I don't remember having it. I do have Adobe Firefly, but that's not an animation thing.
No, that's for
I should write it
websites.
down for Flash or something, but
Yeah, I want to try making animations just to play around.
yeah, something that I just find overall kind of funny. A lot of people think that the really elaborate stuff takes the longest to do. Really, it's honestly the simple things. Like I said, just that one flash effect. It was literally just putting up a white screen and having it fade in and out really quickly. Took, on its own, about 10 minutes. And it's not even a second long. And the credits, which were just play a clip, freeze frame it, text, play a clip, freeze frame it, text. That took about 40 minutes as well.
Sometimes I like to have fun with editing, I recorded Crash 1 for 5th Gen Comms, which is a group my friend Xavier is the main member of. I did the Crash 1 playthrough for that channel, and I had a ton of fun with the editing there.
Yeah, although, speaking from personal experience, don't have too much fun editing because you will then over-edit. Best example was it's on the channel, it's no longer up, but I was part of a group called Alpha Omega Comms, and if you look at the, actually, if you had watched the Arkham City playthrough when that was up, every time I did, I think I can't remember if it was a stealth takedown or a hanging takedown from the gargoyles. It was one of those two. Every time I did one of those, I played the Batman clip from Batman Begins. It was always like overlaid over the audio, so it wasn't too bad, but yeah.
Well, one thing I think I should bring up is that, well, if you are planning to get into YouTube, I think you should try to be original. Like, don't try and like copy others. Otherwise, it's just like,
well, there is a bit of, it's kind of good to copy others. Like, when you're starting out and you're relatively unknown, just do fucking whatever.
yeah.
But when you, like, don't.
And so I've been on for 3 years and I'm still unknown and I'm still doing whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, as long as you're while you're unknown, just do whatever the hell you want. The second though that you start to gain a subscriber base, pick something that people seem to actually like the most and do that if you really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't amass 1,000 subscribers or whatever and then start to fuck around.
But what I'm trying to say is that basically don't try doing something just to be someone else. Like, don't try to act like someone else and like force yourself to do something you force to be someone you're not, essentially, because then that just like strains you and it doesn't become fun. It becomes more like a chore.
And that is why I don't upload videos regularly.
I think that's actually kind of funny, at least to me, because my username spawned because I was like, I really like Phantom Savage's username. How can I do that but not be that at the same time? My initial idea was Savage Phantom, but that had been taken. So I was like, what's a word that's like savage but isn't? And then vicious popped into my mind. And that's why my name is the way it is.
Yeah.
Way better story than Velcro's.
I remember that, just like go downstairs and like find a Velcro shoe.
Yeah.
I do like the Velcro games. I do like that name though.
Yeah.
Oh no, it sounds a bit too sticky.
More sticky?
Velcro Gamer, it sounds a bit too sticky.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst joke I've ever put on this podcast. And I sneak him in so softly they'll never notice.
We could have the Velcro Gamer on this podcast at some point, maybe.
Oh god. I'm just going to embarrass myself.
If he'd be willing to do that, because I don't have his Skype and I don't think Joey has.
I don't have anyone's Skype.
I can't guarantee anything because I'm not like his manager or anything. But I think if you asked him and you got like a set time, he could probably do it.
Well, I don't know what his Skype is. That's the thing.
I'll probably see. I'll see if I can. If we end up in a call later tonight, maybe, because the thing with the random calls for Nintendo Alliance and just that group in general, they start whenever for absolutely no reason.
The thing is, I typed in the Velcro Gamer in like the Skype search thing, and there was like 100 people.
Yeah. Here's the thing, he has so many usernames, but most of them are very similar. Hopefully, if I tell you, he won't kill me.
Yeah, don't tell us by speaking here because then you'd have told everyone on the internet.
Well,
Yeah, I'll do it after we're done recording the podcast.
Yeah, do it after the podcast. Otherwise, he'll he'll probably get like
He'll probably cross and never go on a podcast.
slight contact for law.
Yeah.
It's like whenever a famous YouTuber plays a Steam game and forget to change their name temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Because Total Biscuit is an idiot in that regard.
Yeah. Which is generally why it's not a good idea to put your Skype user on like a YouTube account, because then any old person can just join. Like
Unless you're awful, in which case he's like, okay.
But the thing is, I'm not famous and no one wants to talk to me, so that's why no one tries to steal this, despite I'm not sure because I haven't checked any of the videos. So.
I only really add people,
Guys, you can add me on Skype, but I only have like 3 people that watch my stuff.
Great, those 3 people will be brilliant on my 15 subscriber base of people I know.
Although, thankfully, I think that late night podcast has gotten me a few more viewers, so...
Yeah, I know every single one of my podcasts. Well, obviously I know everyone on my podcast, but... No, I know everyone on my subscriber list, because I told them to subscribe.
but
I'm actually gonna go to my full screen page and see how many subscribers I've gained just in the last 30 days.
I especially only add people that I know or like talk to for a while and just like, yeah, I might as well just add you on Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't just add random people for no reason.
Especially when it's those bot accounts that are like, you can get access to my game show.
By the way, seeing as we're legally obligated now, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by Tilk's Jaffa Cakes.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because we've just got to say it. It's mandatory now.
We lost our license, but got it back just in time.
Yeah, we lost our license right before the episode, so we got a license from someone else. I forgot who it was, but we just got a message saying we got the license back. So.
If anyone in this episode comments about asking what username for Skype usernames are, we're not going to put them in because we don't want random people adding us. Sorry.
I'll strangle you if you ask.
Totally not just going to randomly say them all now.
I doubt anyone's going to say that, but if someone does, then no, we're not going to.
Well, no one's just going to accidentally say mine because it's completely different to my actual name and no one knows me by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know.
Well, hold on. Let me just get right in the podcast. It's
if someone says some like a username by accident, I can just beep it out.
No, the only time we beep things out is when we mention Generation.
I'm gonna beep that out.
now. See, I legitimately have to wonder if you're talking about Pokemon or something else.
MLP.
It's always MLP.
Good, because Generation 3 of Pokemon is the best one.
Isn't that the one that's getting a remake now?
Is that the
Very much looking forward to that remake, by the way.
is Generation 3 Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
I played Emerald, it's really good.
I used to have Emerald. I have a busted copy of Ruby.
I played Sapphire first and all the way through for the first time. It was great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the remake. I don't know when I'm going to get it though, but
I'm going to try to get it launched.
I would if I could, but Smash, and I don't have enough.
It's the wonders of having a job.
I'm trying to look for a job soon.
I got told... Okay. Here's a story of something that happened to me today.
Okay.
I went to town to get my bank thing sorted because I've now got access to my bank. I've got to wait a week before I get my card, so that's brilliant. Because 16th birthday a couple of weeks back. And then did some other things at town with my mum and whatnot, it's standard human stuff. And then I went to Pizza Hut to ask for a job because I worked there for work experience a little while back. So like a year back. and I got told that all the applications have just been moved online. So I get back home, watch TV for a bit, get on my computer, no one's on yet, I watch a couple of YouTube videos, and then I go on the website, spend like an hour on the front page looking for the applications part, spend like another half hour on the second page trying to figure out what to click next. And then I click what I click next, and it says, "We're sorry, the website is down for routine maintenance." The maintenance should have been done 1 hour ago at minimum.
Wow. Okay.
And it's probably still down, and I'm going to have to check it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Please give you a tip. Do not get a job as a janitor.
Yeah.
I think we touched on that.
Yeah, we've mentioned... wasn't that like episode 3?
It's not like Dust Force at all.
What even is Dusk Force?
Game about janitors is great, but it is not an accurate representation of the job.
Well, dust comes to life, and you've got to use your amazing broom of awesomeness to blast it apart with photon lasers.
That's different game.
Yeah.
Wait, Dust the RPG or Dust the Science the game?
The RPG, I believe.
Elysian Tale.
Yeah, Elysian Tale, that's it.
Great game.
Yeah, I knew the
amazing.
title, but I didn't say the full thing because I thought
You thought there was only one game called Dust.
But I was just like,
Well, there's also From Dust.
yeah.
And then there's the Flash game.
I don't
that I was
want
talking
to
about.
risk like butchering it.
Anyway, so apparently the maximum completion of that game is 117%.
Kind of like the Donkey Kong Country games where it's you don't like it doesn't lock at 100%.
I still think I haven't played every game ever with a friggin' completion marker tracking thing, but I think Symphony of the Night probably has the biggest maximum out of any game. It's 206%.
And I knew exactly this was going to happen. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut the podcast.
In the meantime, before we get back on, what do you...
Actually, I don't think it stopped recording despite me pressing F9 twice. And it's still red, so I'm not sure. And it's also got frame rates for once.
I'm gonna do, if it's still recording, I'm keeping this in just because it's hilarious.
Okay. What was the thing?
By the way, I suggest playing reading the more recent Sonic comics because they just got done showing off Werehog for the first time and it was great.
What other topics should we touch on?
Is there really anything else to talk about?
Sonic speed.
We already talked about Sonic.
Yeah, but did we talk about how slow Sonic is and not how fast Sonic is? Sonic the pincushion goes at Sonic speed.
Can I just point out that I bought 5 copies of Sonic Boom #1?
Why? So you can sell them on eBay for twice the price? Actually, you probably could because
No,
eBay exists.
because alternate covers, damn it.
Yeah.
There's the basic cover, and then there are 4 alternate covers that form one big picture. It's awesome.
What asshole would do that? Just give them as posters.
I think they probably will in the future. They did the same thing when they relaunched the X-Men in the 90s. X-Men #1 had 4 different covers. It's also the highest selling comic of all time.
Is the podcast, is it still recording or?
I think so because it never went yellow. So I think it just wasn't
thing
responding.
and it stopped instead of just that line.
Well, that would imply me clicking something, and I might as well click it. Let's just pause this for a second.
The only thing
And it's recording again!
on Skype.
And I don't know how much footage we lost there.
Wait, what?
I don't know how much footage we lost, but anything beyond getting called may have been lost until now.
I don't really think we lost that much.
Nothing
It's recording
really.
now, though.
It's recording now.
Welcome back to Random Stuff.
Welcome back to the co-optional podcast we occasionally talk about video games with our host, Total Biscuit, and I've just got a lawsuit. Fun.
Imagine just put in his tags like, I don't know,
Polaris, Total Biscuit,
yeah, Total Biscuit.
Jesse Cox, press heart to
Not
the
affiliated with Mars.
I'm
Chuck Norris.
456 and all these other famous guys.
Wing Commander
I
69.
think if you put those people in like tags,
We are gonna get lawsuits out the arse.
well, you're gonna get a lot of views from that. But anyways, what are you saying about Anton?
Aren't we the
I
rabbit
have
tags anyway?
Anton as a contact on Skype, and the only thing I've ever said to him was like a year or so ago when I was recording Sonic 06 for a playthrough. I think I said, you recorded Sonic 06 for HFC, right? And he said, yeah. I said, I'm doing a similar thing right now. I feel your pain. Because I enjoy Sonic 06, but whenever I record it, it's a chore because that's when the glitches really start up. Like, they don't happen unless I am trying to cause them or if I'm recording the game.
It's funny. I had this really funny and odd glitch in my LP where it's just, you know that first section in Shadow's Dusty Desert?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, but I basically rounded one of the pillars, and it basically made me fall through the sand, and, like, the vehicle fell through it, and then I just fell from, I don't understand it, I essentially went down through the sand, and I hit up in the sky, and fell through the sand again.
Chaos Control won't save you now, Shadow.
Well, if I go back in time and just stop all this from happening in the first place. Oh wait, I tried that once. Didn't work. Funny that.
Almost did.
Well, it almost did, and then Sonic 06 existed in the first place, and nothing was going to work anyway.
But then they were like, oh, it didn't actually happen at all, and then Sonic Generations completed Crisis State. Whoops.
That doesn't make any sense.
Had they not used Crisis City and instead just used like, I don't know, the beach on Soliana, fine, or whatever.
Yeah.
But using Crisis City was basically like saying Sonic 06 actually didn't happen.
I guess, well, people do say that maybe Time Eater was bringing back stages that Sonic went to, and Sonic did make Crisis City like an alternate timelines, I guess.
Yeah, but thanks to the friggin', I guess, universe reset at the end, he never actually did.
Yeah.
Sonic 06's plot is a headache within another headache, encased in pain.
And then Generations just like, yeah, I get that you chose people's favorite levels, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, specifically, a lot of people complain, they're like, why did Sega choose this level and not this one? Because more people voted for this level and not this one.
Yeah. Like,
They had a poll on what levels to include in the game.
I'm kind of, I love the levels they chose, but I kind of wish they went for more variety, because for me there's too much, like, there's too many city levels. It's like,
Yeah, that's because the fans really like city levels.
yeah. I would like more variety, like, colors, for instance. Each world feels distinct.
Wasn't Jack going to join the call?
He said he's going to have a shower, and if we're still doing it by then, by the time he comes out, he'll join.
So how long ago did he say he was having a shower?
Let me see.
About 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is he still in the shower?
It's only 10 minutes.
Yes, showers are usually like 5 minutes, unless you're me, and then they're 3 hours. Because no one else should ever be allowed that
They're not
water.
that short.
Well, here's a fun fact. Lonely people take longer showers.
I usually take like 10-15 minutes, depending on how much I want to shower, I don't know.
Yeah.
I usually only take a couple of minutes because most of the time I shower before I go to work. I have to hurry anyway. And that Mother 4 that's coming out in December.
About that not canon because it wasn't created by the original developer.
Yeah, but it's still a Mother game, I don't care.
Actually, I'm going to keep that philosophy for Halo 4, 5, and 6. It's not canon because it wasn't created by Bungie.
Yeah, but I think, if I recall correctly, wasn't 343 involved with the original Halo anyway?
No. 343 is a
Actually,
recent company.
In fact, 343 was established to make Halo in the first place.
Don't care, it's not Bungie, it sucks. See, there's a difference between a Halo fanboy and a Bungie fanboy. I thought I was a Halo fanboy until 343.
Other than that logic, you should really like Destiny.
I never played Destiny, and from what I'm told, it sucked, and also Activision was involved, so mainstream.
So long as you didn't expect a revolutionary masterpiece of a first-person shooter.
No, what I expected was yet another MMO on the Xbox.
I just expected an enjoyable game, and that's what I got. That's what I was having.
Yeah, a lot of people really like a big open MMO, like FPS game, and...
But that's the thing, MMOs don't go on consoles. So why is it not on PC?
There apparently are talks of a PC version.
Yes. There's also apparently
Although
talks of
Activision-
Microsoft having a decent
Activision, I
online
don't know if
service.
Bungie is involved with it, they haven't said anything about it, but Activision has already started work on Destiny 2.
How can you start on Destiny 2 when you've got a 10-year contract to make constant updates and maintenance?
Well, people can still do that and make a sequel.
Yeah, but you can't release it until after 10 years.
Right.
So what's the
But I
point in
think it's
making
possible
it?
that
It'll be
They'll
obsolete.
probably spend those 10 years. They'll probably spend those 10 years developing it, but they've already started it.
Well, if you spend 10 years to develop a game, you end up with Duke Nukem Forever. Great game in concept, except it was actually good at
the
one
last
thing.
14 years because they kept switching developers.
And then 2K took all the money and stuck it into
To the
Borderlands.
point where I'm pretty sure by the time it got to the developer that it was at when it finally got released, they were just like, don't care if this game is good, release it so we can just be done.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The game was good in 2001, and then it changed developer. I feel sorry for the person who pre-ordered it.
It changed developers like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the person who pre-ordered it at E3 2001. Because someone did that. Actually, I think they
I wonder if
got...
they got anything for their pre-order, or if their pre-order carried over to the game that finally released.
Well, apparently they've been reimbursed by 300 different people.
So you got a shitload of money then.
Wow.
Seriously, the guy paid $10 into the pre-order in 2001. If you add interest and have 300 people giving you reimbursements and get the game for free because you pre-ordered it so long ago and the game took so long to release, you're rich.
Yep.
And you've got a bad game.
I had an idea of something to say, but I can't remember.
No.
It's slightly different news. It's old news, but
Wait, news?
nonetheless. There's another Sonic and Mega Man crossover.
Okay.
Yes.
And in other news, there's a Celestial and Lunar ship.
Trying to think of this.
I only hope for
Oh yes, I just remembered who we got our backup
I only hope
sponsor
for
for.
Worlds Unite. I only hope for Worlds Unite is that it affects Mega Man's world somehow because the Worlds Collide, Worlds Collide clearly happened just so they could get rid of Ken Pender's character because it didn't affect Mega Man's universe at all.
Yeah.
Guys, I remember who our secondary sponsor was.
Twitch Jaffa Cakes.
No, that's our primary sponsor. Alcorn Shipping.
Yeah, I don't remember because I don't want us to be sponsored by that.
We used it instead of FedEx.
Where the hell
But I guess one thing to talk about is where did you guys see the Rayman series like after Legends? Because I still want a Rayman 4.
I'm not a Rayman fan. Like, I have not played any of them, so...
Yeah, but the thing is, we were promised Rayman 4 back in 2000 and whenever Rayman 3 came out.
Yeah. And then the rabbits happened.
And then they changed developer, I think.
Can I just remind you that the Rabbits actually had their own fairly short-lived TV show on Nickelodeon?
Yes,
Yeah,
we know.
I saw like 10 seconds of an episode, just like, yeah, this sucks, and then just turned off the TV.
Nickelodeon, what happened to you?
The Ninja Turtles is like the only thing worthwhile.
Cora.
That's true, but then even then it's not. I don't think it's aired on TV anymore, is it?
It's not. It's aired specifically on the website, but it is still the Nickelodeon show.
That is true. But there's only like a couple of things noteworthy now for Nick.
And Ninja Turtles and Cora, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I still have to watch Stargate Atlantis.
well, you did get your wish chase where Baxter Stockman did get turned into a fly.
Oh, yeah. It only took, what a day on season 2 now? Season 3, something like that?
Well, I need to remember, I think season 2 is when he got turned into it, but yeah, we're on season 3.
Cool.
But anyways, oh yeah, the next episode of Ninja Turtles is online now. I need to check that out soon.
I still need to watch today's episode of Sonic Boom.
I watched that like recently before we started this.
I need to watch
Yeah,
a episode of
If
Sonic
you
Boom.
have like a link to it, send me one, because Dish lost their contract with Turner Networks and had to remove Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I'll probably do that after this podcast. Any
I think we've exhausted all that we can talk about.
are there any sequels for any franchises you guys would want to see?
Rayman 4, Crash Bandicoot
Metroid
5,
Crash Bandicoot
5. There was technically a Crash Bandicoot 4, so Crash Bandicoot 5, Spyro 5,
Technically the Hero's Tale was 5.
no, Hero's Tale was a failed reboot.
Well, technically it's a continuation to Enter the Dragonfly because Nasty Nork is mentioned and Spyro's just like, didn't I already kick that guy's butt like
Yes,
a
you
long time
did.
ago.
You did.
Yeah, so technically it is canon in the main series.
I don't count it because Hunter looks hideous. And nothing makes sense, and the game gave me a virus which made me have to throw away my favourite memory card.
Sequels that I am, not games, but still I'm looking forward to. Dr. Horrible 2. Please, Joss Whedon.
Dr. Robot meets Mean Bean Machine 2.
Dr. Robot meets Mean Bean Machine 2.
I actually wouldn't be opposed to that because I really like Mean Bean Machine.
I would want it just because reasons.
It's a good game, I just suck at it.
No, it's a good game, it's just everyone sucks at it.
No, I've seen loads of people be really good at it. Like my brother, if you play against my brother, you're more than likely going to die. Or not die.
I saw somebody speed run it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 12.
It's fun. I can't play the game because, well, I watch my sister play it and it's a lot more fun to watch than to play for me. Just because I just can't, like, think that fast.
Yeah.
Tetris 2.
We already had Tetris.
Tetris 3.
Tetris 6000.
Call of Duty 900.
I'm just waiting for Jack to join to see if he has anything to add.
I thought you were just gonna say you were waiting for like another Jack game, like Jack and Dexter.
Yeah, I want Jack and Daxter 4.
And I was like, shit, no.
I haven't played any of the games, so.
They're not good.
Yeah. But even if the game.
Ratchet and Clank 5, I want that.
The other two are just bad.
I want Ratchet and Clank 5.
Yes.
Well, the thing with me, even if a game is supposed to be bad, I still play it just because. Well, I want to have an actual experience with it, I guess.
Well, I'm like the only person that will ever say Jack is bad, so.
I don't remember the first one. The second one was okay. Apparently it was too hard, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And the third one was amazing.
Say that, actually.
The third one is amazing. They got it right with the third one.
Also, Crash Insanity is actually a pretty good game.
That's a good game, except I don't count it canon.
So much.
Twin Sanity is like Spyro Hero's Tale in how I count games.
I love the music in that game, it's so messed up.
Ba 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 ba. Because Dancing Stormtrooper had to dance to something.
And then Crash of the Titans happens.
Oh,
Yeah. Crash of the Titans I will count as its own thing,
yeah.
but I completed it 100% in a day, so. Oh yeah, that was the first game I ever got limited edition.
I can guarantee that if it was a new IP, it wouldn't have as much hate as it does now.
I think I'd still say it's pretty terrible because I don't dislike it because it's not a Crash game. It just wasn't a very good game overall.
Yeah.
Like by the time I played it, I wasn't really a Crash fan. I only played the first and second games. And they were
I only played the game because I
exactly
wanted to see the
that kind of
cutscenes.
Yeah, Crash 3 and Twin Sanity are definitely the best in my opinion.
Yeah. Crash 3 more so.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the peak of the series.
Velcro also re-released Insanity.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, it's like his favorite game.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing one of his videos where Unleashed and Twin Sanity are his favorite games.
Yeah, I can understand Insanity. That's Unleashed.
Yeah. But the thing is, there are some games that people like that I, not necessarily despise, but just don't like that much. And, I'm fine with that. People are going to have different opinions, and that's the thing with the gaming industry. Not everyone's going to have the same.
Understands that.
Yeah. Because I'm actually with with you on Mega Man 2 being I wouldn't say it's like
Pretty
like,
shit.
I call it kind of mediocre because when it's like Mega Man 1 sometimes it's not it's fun to play.
Well, it's nowhere near as good.
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of
Okay, so Mega Man 2 not being a good game is like the only thing that I agree with Yoshio Sakamoto on.
yeah. When it's
Like, I really don't like Yoshio Sakamoto because he wrote Other M, but I saw on his Twitter, he said that, he says, Rockman 2 wasn't even all that great a game. And I'm like, yes, I still don't like you, but yes.
yeah, like Mega Man 2 has some moments, but for the most part,
The soundtrack's really good, look at that.
yeah, that's true.
I've only ever played Mega Man 1 and sucked at it.
It's just that I can't enjoy a level design where it's easy, but the only times when it's hard is when it just throws something at the last second, just like, oh, instant death. That's just
Mega Man 2 is hard, but it's hard for all the wrong reasons. Best example being Quick Man Stage.
Exactly.
It's very clear that with the lasers, they take a little bit to fire, and it's very clear that because of that, they want you to form a pattern. But you can't,
yeah.
because they fire just quick enough that the second you start to think, you have to stop, and then they kill you.
For me, Mega Man 2, it's just they missed the point of why the original was so fun to play, because it was challenging and it felt fair. Mega Man 2 is just really easy, but when it is challenging, it's hard in the wrong way.
Yeah. And then Mega Man 3 was really good, and Mega Man 4 was really good, Mega Man 5 is the best Mega Man game. Mega Man 6 is good, Mega Man 7 is trash, and Mega Man 8 is so bad. It's the worst one.
I'm playing through the Mega Man games. I'm playing Mega Man 3 right now. I haven't gone back to it for a while just because.
I thought you weren't playing any games while we were doing this podcast.
No, not right now. I mean in general. I'm just working my way through Mega Man now, and I haven't had the chance to go back to 3 just because of mainly just focusing more on YouTube stuff and becoming consistent with my content.
The only problem with Mega Man 3 is the Doc Robots.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That just makes me think of Doc Lewis from Punch-Out.
I have played Mega Man 1 and sucked
Alright,
at
kids,
it.
you're gonna refight the Robot Masters from the last game. I'm gonna eat my chocolate.
I want there to be some.
What the fuck was it with Doc Lewis and chocolate?
I don't know, but I want Doc Lewis to have some appearance in Smash Bros. Wii U and just, I don't know, say some random crap about the
Well, he does appear in the 3DS version if Little Mac wins.
That's true. But I wanted to like say something about the fighter or say like just talk about chocolate.
Chocolate. If I ever play and then review Punch Out Wii, I will like at the very end make a compilation of all the times he says chocolate.
It's just like hey kid, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I love chocolate bars.
Chocolate.
Really? I would never
And
guess.
then just chocolate.
It is a good game though. I recommend it.
I'm actually gonna see how much they have it for sale on, or how much it is on 99 Gamers.
I actually went on Amazon, and I found it for like £5 to £10, really cheap.
So if you're looking for a really good site to just buy and sell games, go to 99 Gamers. I'm not paid or anything.
Yeah, but the Minor Circuit remix in Punch Out Wii is legendary. I'm so glad that was added in Smash.
Oh my god! It's 35 coins, which is equivalent to $35 on 99 Gamers.
Oh wow. Wow.
Let's check Amazon.
Yeah, that's where I got it. I haven't played the original Super Punch Out.
Ooh, it's like $18. I played Super Punch Out very briefly. It was really good. It's on the Wii U Virtual Console, I think.
I'm going to play them eventually. The thing with Super Punch Out is it's really different compared to the others. And Next Level Games, who made Punch Out Wii, they want to make a sequel, so they're probably going to make it a lot different, and that'll be interesting to see.
Now I need to rewatch Clement's LP of Punch Out.
The closest to a Punch-Out game I've ever played is Wii Sports Boxing.
That does not even begin to count.
It's nowhere near as good, but it's
I mean, it's the same basic concept, but by that logic, you can play the boxing minigame and bully, and it'd be like playing Punch Out.
Where's this bully that I speak of? All I remember is Canis Medit. You know, its original title that no one could pronounce. That's why they re-released the game with a different title, thinking no one would notice.
Well, basically, Bully is better than GTA.
But yeah, I love Punch Out's music. Just it pumps you up a lot. I'm really the monosecond remix in Smash 4 is really growing on me.
Yeah, I still don't care for the rock remix, or the rock version of the Mega Man 2 medley. There's just something about it that I don't like.
I think Jack's back. That should be a show.
Wasn't that the advertisement for Jack and Daxter 3?
Jack back.
No, Jack's back. So, either that or I'm thinking of a bad rap song that somehow got stuck in my head 100 years ago. You know, back when raps died.
Sequels that need to be made. Banjo 3 and Conker's Bad Fur Day 2.
So, okay, I really don't want those to be made, considering the state of Rare now.
Well, I don't. If there are people that can competently make them, then I'd want it, but not by. I don't want them to be made by Rare, because just none of the people that made the games back then are with the company anymore.
That's because Microsoft
I'd
fired them for being decent at their job.
Because they were even Killer Instinct, and that one was apparently really good.
No, that's true. Apparently, a lot of the original developers at Rare went to reformed as Retro Studios. So technically, they're still with Nintendo to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as many.
I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Retro, please don't make another Metroid Prime game. It's good.
I think they're going to balance it out, like have both 3D and 2D games.
Don't do it.
Hey guys. Hello.
Hey, please give us something to talk about. The podcast's about to end without you.
Rips.
Okay.
We need topics.
What do we start with? Let me see.
We started with Amiibos.
The podcast's still good. Okay, what do you think about the Amiibos that Nintendo are making?
Oh no, I'm not really sure about it. I really can't say much about it because I didn't really have a good look at them or whatever it is. So I really can't talk much about that.
Okay.
Shameless promotion, real quick. If you sign up with Loot Crate through a specific offer, you will get each of you get one of each of the first wave of Amiibos over the next 3 weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
They'll send you a package with, I think, 4 in each one every week for the next 3 weeks.
We should be sponsored by everything because we shamelessly promote everything despite we're not even sponsored by them, but we are totally sponsored by them, so don't believe the original statement I made. By the way, buy Daring Do books.
We're sponsored by them. We're sponsored by them.
We're sponsored by everything. Give us money.
We're sponsored, but they don't know that yet.
Just be like, have some random guy walk to us in the street or something, just be like, hey, are you those guys in that Rayman Legends LP where you just said, if you're about to commit suicide, please give us your bank details?
Yes, I did say that at one point.
I actually fully this is somewhat unrelated, but when I uploaded the review of the Five Nights at Freddy's, the first one, I wanted that video to get popular, but at the same time I didn't.
Because it was bad.
Well, I wanted it to get popular because that way I'd have a fan base, but I didn't want it to get popular because I didn't want to still be doing YouTube stuff in 3 years, knowing that the only reason people watch me is because I said I didn't like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hey, guys, did you hear the second game is actually a prequel?
Apparently.
Yeah,
But how can it be if the original building burnt down in the first game? They mentioned the first game's structure.
No, see, it's because the first game starts in 1991. That's after, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, to where Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is at 1987. So that's the second building. In the first game, that's the third building they had.
Yeah, I actually will give them credit for doing a fairly decent job of explaining it with like a newspaper clipping. They said that they're going to keep the old animatronics, the ones that are decaying and snapped.
Yeah. So that they can kill you
for use when they eventually reopen the place.
Yeah, so that they can kill you in the future.
So I'm still waiting for Scott Cobb to officially just say, all right, guys, here's how it goes down.
But is there actually a named character, or is the person you're playing just like unnamed?
In the first game, he's Mike Schmidt, and the second game he's Jeremy Fitzgerald.
Sounds like a Jedi. Get a lightsaber and kill them.
That's the thing. They know these robots kill people. Why do they keep using them? You should have the place locked down at night, and then if anyone does break in, the robots themselves would be more or less a security system. Except it be
that was my logic initially. It's like, why is the night guard even here? People are like, oh, well, they're guarding against the robbers. These are animatronics that if they see you, they think you're an endoskeleton outside of its suit, and thus they will shove you in the suit and kill you.
Well, see, here's the thing. The purpose of the actual guard is to make sure the animatronics don't leave the building and, kill everybody else they see. So that's the purpose of the guard.
Alright, I suppose that makes sense. A little bit. But the story of the game is not its strong point, and in the first game there really isn't a strong point, but I feel the second one was actually fairly
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just get a weapon and just kill them?
Why don't you leave the security room? They're all going toward the security room because you're there. Why don't you leave the security room?
Because then they'll just go for where you are now.
Why can't you just guard them from your house or something? Just guard them from your house. Or if they try to leave the building, just sound the alarm.
Just board up the doors at night from the outside.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, make them go into one place, put a bomb there, and just make it blow up.
Nuke the building.
Yeah, just do that.
Fuck you, Freddy Fazbear. You and your pizza.
Your greasy, nasty pizza.
If they make your Five Nights at Freddy's free, just make that the ending.
I actually do hope that, I hope at least a little bit of the third game is made, but to wait a while.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2 actually just took a month of development, so I mean...
I think what probably happened is that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has actually been done for a long time, but the way that it was made, Scott was a little cautious about how people would think it would be. So he then developed the first one to like test the waters a little bit.
So wait, the first building burnt down, the second building burnt down, and the third building burnt down.
Or it will, probably. Because the building that you're in the second game is the second building, and the one that you're in the first game is the third.
Yeah. So the first, well, this is not what I think. I think if they do make the Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I think it would take, it would take place in the first building of the actual company.
Or they'd like try to expand on the story and it'd take place after the first game.
Yeah.
I think they should do it after the first game and just like end this series there.
Yeah. I don't think they will. It's a bit too profitable to do that.
No, and then the fourth one will be like Call of Duty Zombies, except with the Freddy robots, and because they escape and then they destroy the world, and you have the last survivor with 3 friends.
Multiplayer section so that you can play with friends.
I'd actually like to see multiplayer mode in the Five Nights at Freddy's game, just to see how it would work.
If there was,
Turn it into an FPS game.
if it turns into an FPS game and there's a multiplayer, I would buy it just for the novelty of doing that, and I would record my first time playing it.
They review the hell out of that.
I own both games. I bought both games, but I can't play the second game because since I'm visually impaired, I can't keep up with all the stuff. Plus, I can't see Foxy at the end of the hall.
Foxy himself is also, I think he stays closer to the back of the hall than anybody else. He's really in the shadows.
Yeah, so I really can't see that, so I would, die. Plus, Golden Freddy, I wouldn't be quick enough to see him either.
Yeah. Basically, the tip for pretty much the tip that everybody's come up with Five Nights at Freddy's, for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when you put down the camera, immediately put on the mask.
Yeah, do that, definitely.
Why can't you have the mask on while looking at the camera?
What was that?
Why? Common sense would dictate put the mask on, keep it on, and look at the camera with the mask on.
See,
Yeah, but there are two of the animatronics. Two of the animatronics aren't fooled by the mask. Foxy and Marionette.
Yeah, what does the Marionette even do?
Scared the life out of me. Like one time, Marionette scared the life out of me. I'm like, what the heck is that?
And he's fairly creepy.
See, but if you look at the game, and I'm actually promoting this YouTube player, Microplier, he did a Let's Play of the game, and there's actually some alternate endings when you get killed by certain characters twice. There's mini games, and you see the Marionette. So what I think is the Marionette is actually in charge of the whole thing. So,
or at the very least, he plays a very important role in it.
Yeah, because even the phone guy says he really didn't like it because it thought it could, just go wherever it wanted.
Yeah. I think that's about all we got to say to everything.
Jack, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about Sonic Boom?
Well, I really want to play that game. I really want to see what new things Sega or whoever made the game, whatever, Sonic Team.
The Wii U version was developed by Big Red Button, and the 3DS version was developed by Sanso, who also were responsible for Sly 4.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I really want to play that game.
Which
I
one?
want to see like what's new because I really haven't played it. I've seen like a little bit of footage, but I haven't like completely played the game. So I want to see what's new.
It's not really all that bad, but I wouldn't say it's worth the $60 full price. The 3DS version, however, is worth the $40.
I recommend playing Lost World though, because people bash that game.
Not the 3DS version, though. Avoid that one.
Yeah, avoid that. But
Yeah, definitely.
give the Wii version a chance, because I feel like if you like give the UK style a chance, you can really enjoy it potentially.
Yeah.
Oh my! What the heck is wrong with my Mac? Oh my gosh.
What's the other thing? How did you get into YouTube? And well, basically, why did you decide to do what you do now?
Well, see, one reason why, the person that really inspired me to get into YouTube was, actually, Kabar Ronnie 456. And the first channel I used to have, which, it got deleted by, a problem, I don't know, that happened a long time ago that a lot of YouTubers lost their channels.
Was it because of the Sega thing?
I'm not sure what it was. I just know that a lot of accounts were lost. It was something with YouTube. I don't know when. I think it was when they were transitioning to Google or adding Google and stuff like that. I think some accounts were lost. My first channel was part of it, and really, I had a chance to actually talk and communicate with Cody, and he really was an inspiration for me. That's why I decided to join or subscribe or make a YouTube channel and start doing things like that. After that, well, now I had Great Games OPs, but that channel really didn't last that much because I renamed it to the Brilliant Gamers when my friend Josh joined the channel, and we have another person that joined as well. And so far we've only done like 2 Let's Plays, Portal and Portal 2. We haven't uploaded Portal 2 because the actual person that has the footage is at college and things like that, so he hasn't had time to edit things. But yeah, Kobe was the one that basically inspired me to join YouTube and do what I'm doing today.
I'm just gonna say this now. I feel like an interviewer doing this.
You're interviewing the son of Barack Obama. No, I'm just kidding.
Barack Obama doesn't have a son, as far as I know.
I don't know. By the way,
Just 2 daughters, though.
by the way, how do you guys hear me? Because
I hear you fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
I can't hear.
Well, the second you mentioned something may possibly be wrong, it happened, but
Bridging up.
Hey, what?
you're fine now.
You sound kind of. You're using a Mac now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm using a Mac. It just
Yeah, the mic quality sounds like a lot different now.
So that's the problem.
Well, it's not really a problem. It just sounds different.
I know.
like, how does it sound though?
It sounds pretty high quality.
I thought it was. I thought it was sounding like it wasn't sounding clear or something.
No, it's better than the old microphone, which wasn't bad in and of itself. So You don't really have to worry.
Yeah, because I was using my old laptop,
Yeah.
and the mic quality wasn't good. And I bought a headset that actually has a microphone on it, but I can't use it because my Mac doesn't have an input for my other cable that connects it.
Well, I don't use to worry too much because the mic you're using now is fine.
Yeah.
But and if Jack, do you have anything you want to add? Just to bring up. Do you have any expectations for Star Wars Episode 7?
Actually, yeah, I really can't say much because I haven't kept up with it lately, but kept up with the whole Star Wars thing. But I do watch it from time to time, and I can't wait to see what else is going to be in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do in general.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do, really. I want to see what they're going to bring up this time.
Although I'm a bit more confident in it now, knowing that J.J. Abrams is apparently a fairly big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, I was looking for the start button at the bottom of my Mac. I'm like, wait a minute.
I think this is the longest episode we've done.
How long is the call? Because we started more or less the second the call started.
How long has this been recording?
More or less since the call started. So.
Yeah, this most likely I'm gonna look at our episode actually. See.
How long has this been going on for?
You're
About 2 hours.
Oh, the call's been going on for 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's the longest one yet. Because haven't we had one that was 2 hours and 30?
Let's see.
I think that was last week.
Okay. Episode 1 was 15 minutes. Episode 2 was 2 hours and 3 minutes. 3 was an hour and 39.
Wow.
Episode 4 was an hour and 41 minutes.
And this is episode 5.
Yes.
So this is the longest episode.
Yeah, this is the longest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait until it gets like 12 hours. No, that's not actually gonna happen. We didn't have that much time on our hands.
I do.
Well, I do.
I do, but I spend it actually editing videos and stuff.
I haven't started college yet, so I don't start till super
Oh yeah, I have college warrior now as well, so there's that.
Maybe one day I will get a job.
Yeah, I'm trying to, after next week,
I need a job too.
Remember, don't be a janitor. I speak from personal experience, and it's horrible. I only suffer through it because I get paid $30 a night for doing it.
After next week, when my birthday passes, I'm going to be looking for a job.
Funny thing is, if I work at Pizza Hut, I'll get like £5 an hour.
That's actually not that
So I'll get £45 a
Which
week.
is equivalent to...
Oh, I get, I have a paper round now every Thursday, and that only gives me $3.50 a week, which it's okay, but it doesn't, it takes a while to
Okay,
get.
so Joey, you're making about minimum wage US, making just under $8.
I know that.
Yeah.
That's basically minimum wage here.
Yeah.
But what I don't know.
Am I hearing something?
Probably because I'm playing Halo and my television is right next to my microphone and there's nothing I can do to that about that because it's either you hear Halo or you hear my computer.
Yeah.
I just know I heard something.
What?
never mind. It's
I guess we could touch upon this since we have not. I guess we could touch upon this. Joey, I don't think you need to say anything because I know what you're going to say. What do you guys think that they should do for the next 3D Mario game?
Not make it.
I legitimately don't know, because I think Mario 3D World was the right way to go. Just, basically, the only thing I ask, don't make it like Galaxy, please.
Yeah, someone who agrees with me.
Don't do it like that. I really didn't like Galaxy that much.
I feel the controls are very sluggish.
That's 3 points for not liking Galaxy.
Yeah, they could have worked on them. If they could have.
I will still give them credit though. Soundtrack is friggin' great.
Now, when I was playing it, I didn't have the luxury of audio because I was playing it in a public place where they just had it as a thing. So I didn't have the luxury of audio.
I want YouTube and listen to the soundtrack. It's great.
I never had had problems with gameplay. I enjoyed both of Galaxy 1 and 2 a lot.
I didn't like it because of my depth perception. Now you might say depth perception is impossible to see through a game and real life, but trust me, if you have my eyes, you can see the awkwardness.
The thing with me is just, there's a lot of variety in the Galaxy games, and every stage feels distinct, and it never feels like you're doing the same thing again, unless you're like doing a speedy combat.
In which case you are doing the same thing again.
For the most part, you're usually doing something original.
With an overly generous time.
Yeah. With that said, I don't want them to make Galaxy 3 just because I think they've done all they can in that style, and I just don't want them to oversaturate the concepts, because, like, 3D Land, it was okay. It's the definition of playing it safe, and it's
3D World was good.
It's nothing special.
3D Land, I have to agree because I borrowed my brother's copy for a little while, but from what I played of 3D World, I like that.
3D World is essentially...
3D World is one of the best 3D Mario games just ever.
Which, by the way, isn't 3D. It's 2.5D with a third dimension.
It's essentially, well, kind of.
It's like Donkey Kong, whichever one that was that I'm thinking of. Which I haven't played.
I see 3D Land as being in... It feels like...
If you can move in all eight directions, it's 3D, no matter what angle the camera's at.
The thing is, 3D Land feels more... It feels like a new Super Mario Bros. Game in 3D. That's how I see that. But 3D World feels more... It feels more like a 3D Mario game. Because they actually try to be original.
In 3D.
Yeah.
In 3D.
I wouldn't mind a game like Sunshine again.
A lot of people are asking for a Sunshine HD remake, but I don't think it needs one. A port, maybe, to the Wii U, sure, but it does not need to be HD. Sunshine still looks really good.
Yeah, that's true. But they did one with Wind Waker, so I don't know.
Which I still feel is a poor decision, because Wind Waker is like a remastered kind of port, fine, but it did not need to be graphically updated, because Wind Waker still looks really good.
That's true. I still think the remake is the definitive version, though, because it improves so much in the gameplay where I can't see myself. I can't see myself going back to the original.
If you want to finish the job, you have to find it first.
Okay, I'll have a quick question. Who has a Mac here?
Last you didn't skip on that color.
Besides me.
No one?
I think that answers your question.
No one else doesn't? Oh man, never mind.
So I zoned out for like 2 minutes.
I've got an iPhone, but
I have one idea.
Yay! Someone else an iPhone besides me in here.
I have one idea for a 3D Mario game. What if they have like the hub world as like an open world Mushroom Kingdom, where it's like you see in the RPG games where you see more of the Mushroom Kingdom, but never in like an actual main game. Like the closest we got was the opening to Galaxy, and I just want a fully open world Mushroom Kingdom with like loads of different like side quests you can do to get like stars, I suppose. And you have these in some sections of the kingdom. You have these cannons which launch you to different islands, which would essentially be your worlds for the game. I want something like that.
Oh, Skype glitched. Oh my goodness, what was that? That was terrible.
I want it to be like 64 in the sense that you can choose what star you want to get, as opposed to the other games where you're forced to get a specific star. Unless you're going for a secret one, but even then, that's not the main mission. I would just like something like that. I think that would work well. Unless they completely butcher it, because that's definitely possible. I would just like Lego City Undercover, that kind of hub world, but make it like a quarter of that size, just because if you focus all the time on the hub, if you make this hub world as big as Lego City, you won't have enough time to make actual levels.
Basically, follow the example that they set, but don't make the hub world as big.
Pretty much, yeah. They just make it like a quarter of its size or something. I just want to actually explore the Mushroom Kingdom in a 3D environment, because that's something we've never been able to do.
Do you want to know another thing we've never been able to do?
What's that?
Explore the entirety of Equestria. And that is why Fallout Equestria must be made as a video game by Bethesda.
Just make a My Little Pony game in general.
Yeah, but no, what we really need is Fallout Equestria.
Yes, because DuckTales Remastered, amazing. From what I've heard, why am I thinking of Dragon Quest? Adventure Time, that's it.
Personally, I think after the release of Shantae and the Pirates Curse, I've really been convinced that WayForward can make just amazing Metroidvania games. So, I just think WayForward should make a bunch of Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be disappointed if they said every game we make is just going to be a Metroidvania. I'd be happier, actually.
How do you think an MLP game should be handled, Joey?
Okay, all seriousness, not going into Fallout Equestria should exist despite it should. And it should.
Okay, I'm actually going to point out somebody is apparently making a mod for both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, they made the mod for Fallout 2. Where in Fallout 2 there's a mod where you can play as Little Pip. It's brilliant.
I thought you were going to say Little Mac.
No, Little Pip. It's the main character in Fallout Equestria. No, what I think they should do is not just...
Okay, then someone needs to make a mod for Punch-Out Wii where you play as Little Pip.
No, that would only work for Applejack, seeing as Little Pip is not very strong and is no good at magic. Except for the...
That's the point.
Sorry, no, that's spoilers for very late in the story. No, I'm not going to say that.
Well, I just said that because of Little Mac.
No. I was about to say something that was horribly spoilerific that would just ruin part of the story.
Also, I want to point out there are so many friggin' Doctor Who references in the latest MLP comic.
Lol.
I love how Punch Out Wii, all the character themes are variations of the main theme. Like Super Mario Man, for instance, is like a surfer remix.
I love how I was asked the question not given the ability to answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so from my understanding, the question is, how do I think they should do an MLP game? Now, without going into jokes about Fallout Equestria should be a real game, and now in light that someone's making a mod for PC games, and I'm really annoyed because I can't use the PC games, what I think they should do is an adventure RPG. So, we're talking about how they should make a real My Little Pony game. So, I think they should make an RPG in the age of Discord.
That's interesting.
Where you play as your own character and you make another character, and it will have online multiplayer, so up to 4 co-op, where you could use your friends' characters. But on single player, you only get you and another character that you make. And you would find another 2 of your choice in towns and whatnot, where certain speech would get you to have certain characters. And the Pegasi would have their own flight mechanics, and they would get around faster. The unicorns at level 25, you would get the ability to use a fast travel teleportation spell to places you've been before. I'm saying level 25 because this would also be a battle thing. Ignoring the fact that 5-year-old girls' demographic, apparently, I'm saying apparently because seriously, what 5-year-old girl would understand half the stuff that goes on in MLP?
Yeah.
And Earth Ponies start off with an extremely high strength bonus.
That'd be interesting to see.
I wouldn't mind if it was a 2D platform though, like, if it's in the style of Dark Tales Remastered in like Equestria setting, I would be so down for that.
You know, what I'm thinking of is a 3D MMO, well not MMORPG, but an RPG.
Well, you could have it like Dark Tales, but make it in the Metroidvania style.
Yeah.
What I'm using for my influence here is like Fallout and
Can I just point out real quick that Charles Martinet voices every single character in Super Punch-Out?
Wow.
All of them.
Anyway, what I'm using for my inspiration for giving this idea of how I think it should work is I was around Final Fantasy X a lot, because that's the only game I ever saw being played. Final Fantasy X and whatever games were played on the PS2 on the PS1, back before I was allowed to even touch a console, because my brother is a serious console hog, and that is why I have got my own PlayStation 2 and television.
But speaking of Punch-Out voices, I love Super Macho Man because he's just like, release the bogus. Release the no.
Anyway, so some of these...
You definitely at least know Charles Martinet is the voice of Mario. But he's also the voice of Parthenax in Skyrim.
Wow.
So who thinks someone should develop the game that I just came up with the idea for?
Mario, why do you always put me as number 2?
Or I could be completely ignored.
Mario.
Mario! It's like, Luigi's mentioning your A button is to scream for Mario.
Yeah.
Wow,
I think everyone just went insane a second ago.
Okay, Jack, how do you think MLB game should be handled?
Well, pretty much. I was thinking it should let the exact same way, you know, that Joey said.
Because my idea is amazing.
That sounds, you know, sounds exactly how the game should play out.
Yeah. In engagement, I agree. Yes, I agree with my own idea. The way forward, if you're watching this, make the game like that.
And while we're at it, let's make the beginning of the story to start you off. So you've got the whole concept idea of how the characters and systems work. So it's basically an RPG, so like Final Fantasy, but not the combat. The combat will not like Final Fantasy 12, but not like the make the combat like Fallout. So it flows with the gameplay and the adventure that you're having.
Yeah, I would just really like to see how a company handles the game.
Also, to start them off with the story, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna are telling you to scout the outer area of the discorded homeland. So you're not even in Equestria, you're in Discord's homelands. Because from what we can assume, Equestria is bigger than the map of Equestria.
So then that'll give them the chance to like be creative.
So they don't have to stick with the map. It's also like 1,000 years in the
It's
past.
the weirdest shit you can think of.
This is
really sense.
This is freaking Discord.
And then you could also do DLC of the world as Nightmare Moon is taking over, because you can't imagine that just happening in a day. Nightmare Moon became evil, and then
That would be awesome.
Just make
that as DLC, and then you could make Chrysalis DLC. So like the changelings are invading Equestria, and yeah, so just there are 3 different DLCs that can be their own game.
Hey, you guys are talking at the same time. I can't understand a single word you're saying.
Sorry, I just never
When
got
I
a chance
sit here
to
looking at Charles Martinet's different voices. Most of them are Mario characters.
Skype is using like 1.90% of my CPU.
Yeah, I don't really have make one section of the Discord area. Just make it a crap land.
Crapland.
Anyway, so you
a bunch of random stuff.
No, just literally just put crap.
also the game would start off in the castle of the Royal Sisters.
It was Conquer.
But this is Discord.
Guys, let's have it so that the game starts off in the castle of the Royal Pony Sisters.
Okay, so it's essentially Conquer's Bad Betty 2 if it was actually made. Because you were going to start in a castle.
Well, yes, except minus the vulgar, grotesque everything, and a monster made entirely out of shit. Wait, what age demographic are we going to for this podcast, or are we just doing it because of reasons?
Whatever.
It goes to any age.
I think it goes to every single fandom as well.
I just want to make a thumbnail with just a rating with rated W for whatever.
Rated W for who cares?
Or rated W or whoever cares.
Rated W for who cares.
Rated F for fuck it.
Now I'm gonna have to put effort into the thumbnail.
Yay! We get an original thumbnail now. We've had one always, haven't we?
I got lazy.
Wait,
Also, when it, like I said, most of Charles Martinet's voices are just like Mario and Luigi and all that. But he also voiced Orvis in Ratchet and Clank Future of Crack in Time.
Oh wow.
Really?
Crack in Time, I think, was the last good Ratchet and Clank game.
I love Ratchet and Clank.
I think Crack in Time was the last good one.
I didn't know he voiced Parthenax until I looked up his roles. Okay.
Wow. He does a lot of voices now, actually.
It's still mostly Mario characters, but the ones that stand out the one that stands out the most to me is Parthenax. Like, have you heard Parthenax's voice?
No. Because I can't remember.
Well, I just saw that as a rhetorical question.
Yeah, but it's a question. We're trying to make this drag out to 5 hours.
Listen to the audio clip on that.
Is that from Ratchet and Clank?
Parthenax is from Skyrim, but Orvis is from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, that's why I don't know, because I haven't played those games.
I haven't played much of Skyrim because I just can't be arsed.
Same here.
Fallout, amazing. Skyrim, can't be arsed.
I can't, I'm not saying Skyrim is a bad game, I just can't, I don't have that kind of time to put into it.
And I've spent some 100 hours in the last 3 years. But seriously, just listen to Parthenax's voice and remember, this is the guy that voices Mario.
Wow, I didn't even know there was an assassination animation for those. I'm still playing one of the worst games ever, Halo 4.
It's not one of the worst games ever.
Well, the game works. The story is terrible, but the game works. I like the originality in the enemies. The guns are pretty cool because you never get to see this much forerunner tech. The landscapes are amazing, but that's because everything like this is amazing if it ever involved Bungie at any stage. As I said, Bungie fanboy.
No.
Meanwhile, almost anything that involved Team Ninja at any point is probably garbage. The only exception, somehow, being Hyrule Warriors.
Did Team Ninja make that?
They influenced some of the character designs, which you can definitely see in Lexia, but they didn't actually develop it. But at this point, I'm just convinced that anything Team Ninja touches turns to absolute shit.
I'm just waiting for someone to make a modification for Hyrule Warriors so that you get to play as Princess Luna.
So someone needs to know, work out how to model Wii U first.
Well, the Homebrew channel is on its way. Someone's gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Mario Maker so people can make Kaizo levels.
What, Kaiju?
No, Kaizo levels.
Still sounds like Kaiju.
It's essentially just a term for really, really hard Mario levels.
If the podcast is still going on, I think we have gone over everything we can.
We haven't spoken about the meaning of life.
I think we've covered everything that we can. We should probably end this.
Yeah, we probably have, and we've shamelessly plugged everything.
I just wanted it to go on for at least 3 hours, just to say.
Just say we've got a 3-hour podcast.
We could just sit here and talk, or not talk for like another hour or so.
Just have it for 4 hours.
No! Nobody's gonna stay to watch a podcast for 4 hours.
Well, that's why I just make it like a still image for most of the time, because then people can just listen to it while doing other things.
That's the thing. No one's supposed to be watching this podcast. It's an audio-based one. We have sometimes pictures coming up, and then we put the links in the description below because Tilk's Jaffa Cakes by Daring Do Books and Alicorn Shipping.
But it's not going to be it's not anything fancy, because no one's, let's be real, no one's going to be watching a video, staring at a video for 2 hours straight.
Most of the time when I watch a co-optional podcast, I am literally just listening to it when playing something like Call of Duty or Halo? Or
Yeah, whenever I'm listening to a podcast, I'm usually playing a game or
Magic drawing in Final Fantasy VIII.
just the thing is, whenever I watch a podcast or something that's really long, I'm usually doing something else.
why would you ever draw magic in Final Fantasy VIII? That is a waste of your life.
When you get stronger spells. If I remember correctly, you have to do it when you get stronger spells.
Yeah, but you don't even bother with the spells because you have to draw them.
I drew a unicorn horn, levitating a tennis ball.
Great, a Nano Ultima.
Anyways, I think we should end this because it's going on for over 3 hours.
And everyone says that just as I'm under attack from every direction by everything conceivable.
See, I knew this was going to last long, so I went to my kitchen and got me a piece of cake.
Oh, that reminds me, I've still got 2 souffles in my kitchen. I've still got souffles in my kitchen.
Because I don't really like cake all that much.
It's a homemade cake my mom made. It's so good.
I love chocolate cake. That's my favorite.
Oh, this is chocolate cake.
Harrison, you will regret saying you like any sort of cake better than my souffles if you say you like any sort of cake more than my souffles.
I've never had your souffle, so...
Well, you need to, because it is amazing and everyone says it's good unless they're allergic to chocolate.
Well, see, there's this cake that was actually, it actually comes from where I am. It's I'm going to say the name in English, is called 3 milk cake, to where, well, the name says it all. It contains like 3 different kinds of milks, and it's like really moist. When you actually cut it with a spoon or like a fork, you can actually see the milk like pouring out. It's so good.
I just want to put this out now. You know we have nothing else to say when we start talking about food or things.
Well, for the record, I'm a baker, and 2, we're not supposed to have a topic, so...
Yeah.
This is kind of getting to the point where if my brother just burst into my room and started talking about internet stuff, I still wouldn't stop the podcast because we've got a topic.
Well,
everything you know is wrong.
That's my life in a nutshell, unless baking.
I'm usually the person who comes up with topics, so hopefully by next week I have some topics.
Okay, next week, Harrison, your goal is to have more than 2 topics. Because everything just starts rambling after 5 minutes.
Well, we do have this. The thing is, we kind of just went off to other stuff, and we lasted over 3 hours. So.
That's the thing, we're supposed to have topics, despite this is Ramble Express, the most untopical thing ever.
Well, I'm trying to research what kind of research. I'll just see if I can find any interesting stuff so that we can touch on. Anyways, let's just end this because this has gone on for way too long.
Right, okay, everyone say your exits, starting with Harry, then Rainbow, then Chase, and me.
I have been Super Mario Sonographer. This has been the Ramble Express. Vitals Traffic Cakes.
This is Ripping Gamer Dash, owner of the Brody Gamers channel and Wider and New Books.
This has been a Vicious Phantom. Remember, stay in drugs, don't do school.
Stay in drugs, don't do school.
If anyone says anything that's bad for your health, I do not condone it. Whack your head against the wall. Anyway. This has been Key Gaming, and Harry stole my thing.
Goodbye. See you next time.
See you next time.
Stay in drugs, don't do school.
See you next week. See you next week.
I'm giving you 3 more seconds before I cut you all off.
Wait, is it end for the ending?